March 7th, 2010. VGN Radio presents Midwest Wasteland with your hosts, Kevin Baird,
Brian Baird,
Don Cease,
Brad, and Larry Mack.
Tonight's topic, Holidays, Part 2. So we had such a great time last time with the holidays. Had to come back to it. Next week we're going to be doing, next week we'll be doing Video Game News Radio as usual. And then the following week we're going to try and do our military episode. I have to talk to Bill Bailey. I believe he's out of town. But he's sort of the keystone to the whole project. And I will let everybody know next week on Video Game News if that is for sure what we're going to do. If that doesn't work out, then we're going to do an episode on filthy grossness, where we talk about all of the grossest things we've seen, working in the food industry, people we know,
obviously,
all that kind of stuff. So
tune in and see how closely it parallels our Crazy Ex-Girlfriend show. You may hear some of the same names.
Yeah, so that may be the replacement show if we don't end up doing it. If you'd like to get this show or any of the other shows we do, go to videogamenews.com. First post on the front page. Just click on that, and it'll list how to get all the shows. There's emails, iTunes links, etc. It's all in that first post. Check it out. I did just put up an episode of Kevin's Oblast Radio. Earlier on Friday, I did an interview with Javier, who survived the earthquake in Chile. And I think it went pretty good. We talked about 90 minutes about the earthquake and living in South America in general. It's a pretty good show. And Lard called in, talked a little bit about the earthquake he was in Japan during the invasion. No, I don't know. No, but it's actually a good show. So if you want, check it out. It's it won't involve a lot of screaming and yelling like this show will probably turn into. But still a good time. Okay, I haven't heard anything from Anderson, so I don't know. And I know Jason Korber, who basically joins
him too.
He joins us for about 5 minutes whenever he's on the show, did say that he's going to be driving back to Cleveland later this month, and that he's going to want to do the show
himself for discipline
while he's driving. And he did mention that he would be sober during that trip. And, we hope he is, because driving back from Florida drunk is not a good idea. I heard those Georgian cops.
We can also have a, first-time show exclusive with somebody getting arrested.
Dying going off a cliff.
That can also be our other fill-in show, if the military thing doesn't work out. We all discuss our DUIs.
Not that I have any or plan on it.
Oh, you'll get one. They're fun.
You think so? Yeah. Oh, when I retire, I'll be fine. Grandpa got a DUI.
Okay, so this is part 2 of holidays. Of the first show, we talked about Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day, Sweetest Day, Independence Day, and then we kind of had a burnout when we got to Martin Luther King, President's Day, and Columbus Day combined. Even though I was just basically discussing them, everybody was losing their fucking mind over it.
No, it was the Tooth Fairy that we lost our mind over.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Well, we haven't talked about the Tooth Fairy yet. That's still coming up.
Yeah, that's still coming up. We still get to revisit that.
Right.
Oh,
Anderson was especially cranky before he fell asleep on the show. So,
He fell asleep again?
He did fall. He's actually fallen asleep 2 more times on the sports show.
He fell asleep before we could debut his new segment.
Yeah, he's Yeah, and we don't know what that new segment is about either, because he hasn't talked to me, so I don't know what. Maybe he's dead. We don't know. Okay. So on the top of the list, we have Labor Day and Memorial Day. Personally, I don't have too many memories about Labor Day or Memorial Day. It's just a holiday that you get off of work, and it's sort of like the one day is when they open the pools, so it's like the unofficial first day of summer, and the other day is when they close the pools, right? It's like when summer ends. I don't know. Brian, anything?
Those are the 2 holidays that everybody constantly fucks up. I mean, they are. They're the 2 holidays that nobody can remember. Is it Memorial Day or is it Labor Day coming up? Because I don't remember. Because one I know is we're celebrating the fact that we all work like motherfuckers all year long. But the other one, well, we have a Veterans Day, don't we? Well, what the hell's Memorial Day all about? Because I remember marching band.
Memorial Day is for the veterans who actually died. Okay. Arguably, you and I are being commemorated on Veterans Day.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
for all the great work I helped do to keep this country
to save this country from a flaming communist death, right? Yeah, fucking.
Well, when the Russians stormed Fort Knox, Kentucky, I was there keeping you all free. So you're all welcome.
Yeah, we know somebody else like that who says, I'm out there fighting for your freedom.
Yeah. We won't say who, though.
Yeah.
Now the Labor Day is the more important of the two because every few years, Labor Day is my birthday. So I get my birthday off from work with pay. So
that's kind of nice.
That's a nice little bonus.
No, the only thing I remember distinctly is Memorial Day, which is coming up. In marching band, that's like the last hurrah for anybody that's in marching band in high schools. And for us, we would literally march from the high school, North Olmsted, to the North Olmsted Park, which was not exactly a really close hike. I mean, it was probably about 2 miles away, all right? So we would literally march our ass all the way over there. And, this is not... this is not like on a holiday that most people, they have it off. They're sleeping in, they don't expect to hear fucking a drum cadence go smashing past their house, like they expect to open up the window and see a red flag with a hammer and sickle on it, like, oh my God, it has to be an invasion, because nobody else in the right mind except commies would fucking be here this time of fucking day making this sort of fucking racket, Which would have been kind of cool if we were playing like Russian fucking army songs marching down the street. We would have been shot though because it's North Olmsted, and it didn't matter rain, fucking shine, what the fuck ever. You were out there. You would just do this fucking death crawl march to fucking, and then there'd be a bunch of really old veterans from the First World War standing around. We survived fucking the Battle of the Bulge or whatever the fuck it was. And everybody would be really respectful because we also knew, we've all seen a lot of war movies and these guys could easily fucking kill you.
Oh my God.
Especially that one movie that commemorated people that fought for our country, Rambo. That was a big thing back then. You look at vets a little more suspiciously. You're like, this guy could completely fuck me up. So
Memorial Day is just the day that you have, like when you're in high school and stuff, and they give you that day off, but you don't care because you get out of school like in another month, and you're just biding your time. You're like, please just let me out of this place. I can't stand it anymore.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh good, I get a day off right before literally it's the end of.
Right before I'm done.
Yeah, thank you for that. And it was also.
If I go ahead and come to work or come to school on Memorial Day, can I just end school a day earlier for the summer?
It was one of those days too that your parents would seem to forget about. Like, what do you mean you're off school today? Like you're making this shit up.
Yeah, or any of those teacher days where you get off and the parents are like, you're off.
No, parent-teacher conferences were the worst because they were going to go to your fucking school, and you're thinking of every fucked up thing you ever did where the teacher was just like, Kevin,
But those are good because the teachers are like, they're in front of a group of people, so they just kind of, they try to act nice to your parents. It's not like when
you conceive horror stories in your mind, but it's not like they're going to keep the other 90 parents they have to talk to that night waiting so they can spend an hour ranting at your parents. They just want to get through the entire class and go home.
Yeah, because they're being observed to make sure if they're doing a good job. If they were like, I'm having a problem with your students. Maybe you're a bad teacher. Well, yeah, that's what my son says too.
That was never the fucking that would have happened. Okay. Dad and Mom would go, and it was okay with Dad because Dad would just sort of like take it with his grain of salt because he didn't like teachers very much for some odd reason. He used to that's their teachers. What do you expect? But Mom would go to your parent teacher conference, dude, and there were just times she did come home and it wasn't good. There was a beating. There was sadness. Whatever I wanted to have happen, it was going to be good and full of nice stuff. It was like you'd wait. You're like, okay, well, I'm going, and Mom knew. She was like, well, I'm going to your parent-teacher conference. I better not find anything else about you. You're like, oh, God. And she would come home and she would just, like, delay the fucking beating or punishment or whatever the fuck it was that she was going to do to you. So I remember.
Okay. Well, Cease, you got anything to comment on Labor Day, Memorial Day, man?
Yeah, it was a time of the year with both my family and my uncle's family got together and stared at each other in the hot fucking sun and and just gave each other shit.
It's like the 4th of July, just that there's no fireworks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we would just sit there and eat fly-ridden food in the middle of fucking the heat, and they would pretend to play baseball.
As you watch the mayonnaise and the fucking potato and the noodle salad change colors on the table.
Yeah. From healthy
sliding
to
across like a slime mold, and we had great joy. My uncles and nephews were like all, obviously my uncles are older, but my nephews are like twice my age and shit. And they'd all like laugh and shit. And I had one cousin that was my age, pretty close. And basically what we did is we just run around and like throw dirt at people. So yeah, that's my memory of Memorial Day.
I mean, that's pretty much it, though, right? Like, both of those holidays are like the barbecue days. Everybody's always like, "We're going to the barbecue" or something, and you're just kind of okay, I guess. Or is like baseball going on or anything? Then I'm not sure, but it's all about the barbecue.
And it's also like Cedar Point Day too. For those who don't live in Ohio, I don't know what the fuck you do, but we would often go to Cedar Point, and that's a bad time to go because everybody
else had that same idea.
Yeah, and like you're not sparing anybody. They're all fucking. This is something that like your wives think of because they're like, we could be with everybody else. We're gonna go because everybody else is gone. And it's like we really don't have to be like everybody else. Yes, right there.
For those out of the country, Cedar Point is a local amusement park that basically is the world center of roller coasters nowadays. It has all of the greatest roller coasters there are all the time, and if they lose the tallest and the biggest, then like a couple years later, they build a newer, taller, and bigger one, and they just tear out the old ride. So what is this, Kittyland? Get it out! We're putting in another roller coaster.
But Cedar Point always had like the coolest names.
Bogies.
Those are the coolest names, like Demon Drop. That was the 80s. It was like, oh my God, the Magnum,
Iron Dragon.
There were never fucking like rides that made you sound, the pathetic. You're not getting rides named like that or, fucking Pirates of the Caribbean, weak sounding shit like that. It's just like, the render, it's fucking something that's just going to like take you.
Basically, if you don't like roller coasters, there's like nothing to do there.
There's a beer hall full of warm beer and pissed off looking people.
There's a wave machine.
The whole place is run by little teenagers that don't give a fuck about your safety.
Yeah.
They'll fucking keep repeating the same shit, but they never actually check to see if you know.
But the little teenage chick wears little shorts.
Yeah, when's the last time you've been there? They're all foreign now. They can't even speak English.
I know, dude. The place is like Little Detroit. That's why I don't go there anymore.
Or
it's just gangsters from fucking...
The suspect lap bar that you're not sure is actually going to hold your body in when it's down.
Because it wiggles?
Yeah. You're like...
So you fucking start to go into a loop, also you feel like going... You're like going, oh my God!
As soon as it like slams down on you, you just kind of lift it up because it's kind of tight.
It just lifts up. You're just like... You're like, wait, I don't think...
So then you go upside down on the roller coaster, and you're hanging onto the thing for dear life.
Cool. And then
weeping.
Yeah, people think you're having fun, but you're totally shrieking in terror.
Yeah.
Fuck shit scared, man.
Yeah, fuck that. Okay. All right, well, if you guys think of anything else for Labor Day and Memorial Day, feel free to chime in, but I got nothing. So, we're going to move into, the thing is Anderson
Tooth Fairy.
Such a big deal out of this. Maybe I should actually bring up, let's talk about the Tooth Fairy, because I want to hold off on Lent, because Anderson was so...
insistent on these religious...
fucking Easter... that he's not going to have
about
anything.
The ritual of Christ.
He's going to, so I'm got...
The birth of the gods.
It's Christ. Friggin' resurrection, you heathen.
In nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. What? Anderson, the hell? Sorry, man. I don't know. I fell asleep.
I remember Brian saw his. I remember Brian saw his guardian angel when we were kids.
Oh my God, dude! No, I found out later. Okay, because of course,
found out later that it was our uncle.
Well, hold on. When you're Catholic, you supposedly have when you're a kid anyway. You supposedly have a guardian angel, which is an angel that like watches over you and stuff.
Getting eaten by monsters.
I tell you, mine's been fucking drunk forever. I don't
know. Right, and so as kids, Brian and I being like slightly not right. Basically thought that Brian, your mic's a little bit quiet. Basically thought that the guardian angel would come and hang out with us all the time. And Brian saw his. Brian, tell a story.
Okay, to give you credit, because it wasn't me like being a fucking utter lunatic. All right. As it turns out, it was the babysitter. The babysitter had her fucking drugged out boyfriend over on acid or some shit like that. Like he was like, this is the fucking like the early 70s.
And he looked like an angel on acid?
No,
I
had never seen one, and there's some strange guy in our bedroom talking about an angel.
Hold on, seriously.
A lot better than
wait. I'm sorry, but hold on. At least let me tell you from my perspective, so you guys get it. Okay, Brian says to me, "I saw my guardian angel man." I was like, "What?" You know, because I was a little kid, and he's like, "Yeah, I was wearing a white T-shirt and came over." And he was. He
seemed like a cool, laid-back dude.
He kind of had.
I never met an angel. How the fuck do I know what he was wearing?
Like stubbly,
like Levi's,
stubble on his face. Yeah, and he kind of came over.
Oh, Steve McQueen, you're trying to tell us?
And I
touched me in my special place.
And I was like, "You sure it wasn't Dad?" And Brian was like, "No, he was.
No, it wasn't Dad.
He was thinner or something." And I was like,
"He was nice."
So it totally makes sense now that it was the. Baby
yeah, he was at least he came in and said, "I'm your guardian angel." He didn't say, "I'm the doctor and I have to touch you." Okay, because that would be a story that never. I would have took that one to the grave. You know, honest to God. I mean, no, it's just you. So yeah, he told me, "Yeah, I'm your guardian angel, whatever." Came in the room, not once, but like 3 times, and the whole time I'm like, "What the fuck is our babysitter doing right now? Letting this guy like in the goddamn house?" Like
checking on us.
Where's our protector?
Making the sign of the cross over your bed, huh?
Floating on the ceiling, right? Yeah, I had no clue because I had never met my guardian angels. I had no idea.
There was this light coming from behind
him. They probably slipped you a fucking acid drop in the goddamn.
No, it was. It wasn't like I'm not saying
he was protecting you, all right, Brian. Yeah, that's what he was doing.
I'm not saying I saw this guy performing like holy miracles. Okay, I'm not being fucking crazy, but I'm just saying the guy came in. I was very fucking young. All right, and then I tried telling my mom and dad, "Yeah, I saw my guardian angel," and she's, "Oh, that's nice. You think you saw your guardian?" I'm like, no, the guy came in our bedroom last night, and I repeated it so much that finally mom's like, "Maybe what the fuck's going on?" So she questioned the babysitter. I can't even imagine what the fuck that must have been like. And she found me, I had my boyfriend over,
drugging up the kids with NyQuil so they would go to sleep probably isn't a new thing, Brian. They probably gave you a drink when you were running around playing war, driving them nuts, tossing grenades at them and everything.
Drugs. Okay, yeah. I'm saying I saw a guy in a T-shirt and jeans who was high telling me he was my guardian angel when I was like
But Brian, you didn't walk away just thinking that you saw a guy in a T-shirt that was
hey, you were changed, man.
You said you thought you had seen.
He told me he was my guardian angel. Why wouldn't I believe it?
I don't know. This is a dude.
Brian, I'm your guardian angel.
No. Yeah, I'm your guardian angel. Give me all your money.
Remember when I know you two fuckers, they wouldn't trust you with a fucking potato gun.
I have a piece of candy in my pocket for you.
Oh, Kevin definitely is my guardian
angel. Fish around.
Because an angel would know you're supposed to.
Are you the paper boy?
You the key man.
With your big muscly arms.
I'm just going to assume that Cease and Larry don't have their own guardian angel stories. So,
because
don't I?
That's right. If I did, he'd get his ass kicked when I saw him.
Okay. For those who are...
Okay, now I truly don't know what Anderson's doing since he's in the chat.
Because his kids aren't asleep yet. For those listening live, if you want to check out the chat room, you can go to blogtalkradio.com. blogtalkradio.com/VGN. And you could join the about 10 people in there right now.
Shenanigans.
I gotta hear more about this guardian angel. What's the whole
There's nothing else really to tell, man. I mean, it was just a little weird thing that happened because my babysitter allowed her drugged up boyfriend to come into our bedroom, which to this day creeps me out like you can't fucking believe because anything could have fucking happened, And
he didn't tell you anything else, but I'm your guardian angel.
No lottery numbers, no I bring you a message from the Holy Savior, nothing like that, dude. He's just like, I'm your guardian angel. No, he told me he wasn't dead yet.
I'm your guardian angel, now take off your pants.
Oh, he wasn't dead
yet? Nothing like that. He goes, I'm your guardian angel, but I'm not dead yet. And I'm kind of like, I wonder how that's possible. It wasn't like, get out. I was like, wow. But I just didn't move because there's a strange dude opening my bedroom door with, the hall light on that I didn't notice. Says, I'm your guardian angel. He's looking at me all crazy. And I'm like, sure. Why wouldn't you be? It's my life we're talking about here. Fucking having some dude come in my room telling me he's my guardian angel doesn't shock me, okay? So then after that, he came in and was like, okay, now I'm dead. Now I'm your guardian angel. And I was kind of like, oh.
Right. Guardian angels guardian angels
technically start off not being dead or alive. They're angels. I get that. I just didn't know that at the time because I didn't know much about religion because I think I was like, what, 6?
Guardian angels is generally not believed in by other Christian religions. It's vaguely referred to in Catholicism. It's
you tell kids so they can sleep at night, so they're not worried about fucking being like eaten by boogeymen.
It's in the Bible, and Pope John Paul II did reference it. So, it exists, I guess, in the in Catholic faith, but it's not something that I don't think the Vatican.
Catholics get all the cool voodoo.
They do. And in the Vatican II Council, I don't think they sat around and discussed it. It's just one of those things. But anyway, all right.
Eventually, they'll get around to it.
We could have a whole episode talking about Catholicism someday.
Right, but tooth fairy stories. I remember when I was a little kid, my first tooth, and I put my pillow underneath my tooth. Yeah, because
your first tooth,
big fucking.
You remember? Seriously, you remember your first tooth coming out?
I remember it distinctly because I got a silver dollar, and I didn't even know such things existed.
That's mom for you.
I remember pulling cracking my first tooth out. I don't remember the tooth fairy.
Okay, so
I was in like kindergarten ripping that shit up.
You got a silver dollar. Now, Brian? Did you believe that there was a?
Of course,
tooth fairy.
A fucking guy in a T-shirt was a goddamn guardian angel. I guarantee you. Had no fucking. It was not exactly a leap of faith for me to go. That's what I'm gonna say. Like, oh, your guardian angel came in your room. Oh, the tooth fairy showed. I'm not gonna go. That's bullshit. There's no tooth fairy. Come on,
what did the tooth fairy do with the teeth?
I made
I know. I never knew that. What the hell? We got to figure that out.
Made a huge cannibal necklace out of it for all I fucking know. And it's not one of those things I asked. You took it on faith that a creature
he builds a giant fucking tooth golem to terrorize the afterlife with.
Yeah. It's one of those.
Our weapons can't damage it. It's made completely out of teeth.
It's one of those things where you just assume that the creature of supernatural perplexity came into your room of beauty and light and took the tooth and fucking replaced it with coin of the realm. You didn't fucking wonder about, well, what it looks like. It's like, you got free money, man. So I had a 50 cent piece.
Like rock.
I've seen a quarter, and it looks like the Rock. Oh my god, how they fucking give us that guy? Some money. You're gonna be the tooth fairy, okay? Yeah. How's the acting career going, Rock?
Yeah. I ain't gonna play no tooth fairy. Wait, you're gonna pay me how much?
Yeah.
Okay, give me the tutu.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be fucking in a tutu and whatever the fuck else. Well, he did that in that one kid show. I was turning that on. I'm like, that gay guy out there looks a lot like the Rock, and my girlfriend goes, hate to break this to you, man. But,
he was on that episode of Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Where,
all right, Christ. C's? Wow. Tooth fairy memories? Anything?
Me, like I said, I just remember ripping that sucker out in kindergarten, bleeding all over the place. It was like a sweet pain. I remember that.
Nothing's easy with C's.
This thing just fucking hurts, and I'm like, my tooth fell out. And I was like, but I don't know. My parents were like, I wasn't like scared or anything because my mom already told me that this shit was going to happen.
I think I probably freaked out the first time my tooth fell out. I'm like, oh my god! You're like, no, that happens. I'm like, oh, then it happens again.
See,
then you have all those goddamn dreams about your teeth falling out.
See, knowing you, when you put the tooth under your pillow, you didn't get anything. You just had a bloody tooth under your pillow the next morning.
I got some money. I don't remember what it was. It wasn't no great big check or anything.
Pile of maggots.
Check.
Like
I got a check for $50.
I don't remember.
Good cash.
Signature at the bottom. Tooth fairy.
Larry?
Sorry, I have no real memories of losing particular teeth.
So you don't have a tooth? Did you have the tooth fairy when you were a kid?
Yeah, I had it, and I know that the tooth fairy is fondly or totally aware of inflation because my kids make out way better in the deal than I ever did.
No sexual encounters with the tooth fairy?
One, but he said he was my guardian angel. So
right.
Okay, so, all I remember
tool to pull your teeth out with, Larry.
I remember, like, when we lived in Michigan, we would get like $1 or something, or maybe not even that much. It was some coins. Sometimes Dad would forget, and then I would be like, "Tooth fairy didn't come," and then I'd be like, "Oh,
you should put it under your pillow again tonight."
Exactly.
I'm sure he was running late.
Right. Exactly.
Dude, Dad, one time I said that to him, and he goes, "Aren't you low to believe it?"
Put it under the right spot. Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I get $1. Dad's like, $1? What happened to a quarter?
Yeah, well then,
That's $1.
and then we moved in with the step monster, and then that shit all dried up. But
oh yeah, that was the end of any kind of goodness.
but I do remember like when you'd sit there with a tooth, and you knew that it was going to come out, but there was always like that thing like
that one strand of gum,
right? And you were like sitting there wiggling it, and you're like, you didn't just want to yank it out because you didn't want to like blood just go.
If I hurt like fuck
and just shoot all over your desk or something.
Yeah, you just knew you'd like rip off the entire front of your face.
You'd sit there and work on it all day. Then
it'd be like that one string in that sweater. You pull it out, and also the whole thing comes unraveled. And you're afraid all the rest of it like fall out, and then your face just implodes.
Now, Brian, do you do the tooth fairy for your kids at all, or is that Lori's job?
Well, my youngest, my older ones, if their teeth are falling out, then I have a thing called a dentist bill. Just far and away fucking worse to deal with.
Well, I mean, you've done it before, though, or no? I mean, did you ever do it?
Yeah, but I was always let the moms do it. I'm like, I'm not sneaking in their fucking room. They're gonna fucking open up their eyes, see this huge black shadow lurking above their beds, reaching underneath them for their tooth. It won't be the tooth fairy fucking story for very long, man. It'll be some new mythology.
You got the King Diamond shirt on, so they open their eyes and they just see the king.
Horror story, some fucking new folklore that'll be passed down for generations. When I was a child, the tooth fairy was supposed to come, but this ogre came instead.
Go to sleep, goddammit.
The tooth fairy's King Diamond.
Are you the tooth fairy?
Cease, do you?
Mark.
I did it for my daughter.
Yeah, did you guys get caught?
Wings, tutu.
Larry, did you do it for your kids? See, I got a feeling Larry was probably like, "There's no money," so the kids.
No, I do it for my kids, although I never got caught. But like the first time I had to do it here, it was my older daughter. She's like, whenever the tooth fairy comes to mommy's, I get more money though. So I'm just gonna take my teeth back there. I was like, oh really? Oh, I mean, tooth fairy's bad.
This is the hood over here. You gotta learn to
live.
That
was fair.
How much does the tooth fairy give you at mommy's? Oh really? Well, that's daddy's money that you're getting from the.
Yeah.
The tooth fairy gets that too. So Brian, Don, you guys ever get caught?
Tooth mommy, so never mind.
What?
You ever get caught?
No, I never get
Sneaking in to the money or anything? Yeah, I was always.
On the whole, dude, I have a whole problem with sneaking into my daughter's bedroom. Just in principle, it just doesn't fucking sound right. I know that. Yeah, later on, sleepover maybe with some friends. That'd be okay.
All drunk and shit.
The only problem I have is
the tooth fairy's here again.
Daddy wants to see your tooth. Hey, look, there's $5. Yeah, I got the tooth in my hand. What about it? Go back to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Go to sleep.
Ungrateful fucker.
Don't look at me, goddammit. There's your fucking money.
All right, we're going to add Anderson, and then we're going to talk about the Lenten special.
Yeah.
Fish
anyway.
We did. Oh my god!
I gave it up for Lent.
Not everything was cool being Catholic, and one of the things they have was
not everything. Nothing is cool about being Catholic.
Yeah, everything you do is a fucking sin.
All right, we'll go around the block, but hold on. For those who, because I just want to make sure, because for our Muslim friends that are listening that have no idea what Lent is, because they're in Africa right now in a struggle for survival. No, I have no idea, but. Lent is...
That's where we keep all the Muslims.
Yeah, Lent is a... well, the ones that wouldn't know what Lent is. Because they're fighting off monkeys with Ebola virus. So, Lent has...
They're fighting them off with trash can lids and sticks.
Right. Lent is it's not really a holiday exactly, but it's a religious... time of
observance,
penance or observance.
It's a time of suffering
where you basically do two things. You give something up for Lent, which means you say, like, I'm not going to eat chocolate, but it's supposed to be something that you normally partake in. Yeah. Like, you can't go,
I'm giving up receiving anal sex for Lent.
Right. Yeah, that's no good. And then on Fridays...
You're allowed to keep that shit a secret. You were supposed to try to keep it a secret, but everybody had their shit nose in your shit. And it's like, well, what'd you give up?
And then on Fridays, you give up... you're supposed to only eat fish, though.
No meat.
I think that, when God had said that, he probably didn't realize that your choice would be Whopper or fillet of fish or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Big Mac, fillet of fish. Okay, it's like it's easy selection choice. Okay, but Brian, Lent.
Yeah. That was like you said it best. It's one of those times where you're supposed to give up something, and it's kind of like the same promise you make on New Year's Eve about how you're going to lose weight or how you're going to fucking do something to become a better person, knowing you're going to fucking fail, but at least, you're going to try to give, when you start off when you're a little kid especially, you always make it some fucking impossible task, that you're just like, I'm going to do better in school. You're not going to do fucking better in school. In fact, that's something you should, if those of you who are Catholic, give that one up. Because you ain't doing good in school to begin with. You sure.
Yeah, you're not suddenly going to get smarter just because it's Lent.
Yeah. God's not going to fucking pull your grades up, in a fucking enfeebled attempt to fucking gamble with your soul, and make God feel better about, oh, look, my God, I gave this up, so maybe you can help me. No, God doesn't care about you, that shit. So
you're on your own.
I just remember that it was one time where we lived with the step beasts, and Carolyn was her stepmother was just like, she just got done telling the girls, which are our stepsisters, no, you don't have to tell anybody what you gave up because it's between you and God. And then literally 2 minutes later, she's like, so what did you give up? And I'm like, but you just said, she's like, no, I want to know because I don't think you gave anything up. I think you're lying. It was like one of those deals. I was like, oh my God.
She was right, wasn't she?
No, I gave up stuff. I just can't remember what the fuck it was.
I gave up oxygen.
I mean, the worst thing that I had with it was the fact that I would give something up, and we barely got any joy in our lives anyway. And then it was always something that, like, for whatever reason, it was.
I give up caring about you, you little fucker.
Yeah, it was the thing that, like, I'd be like, I give up like ice cream, and then like our stepmom would be like, we're having ice cream today. Oh, but you can't have any,
Yeah, then she did that shit a lot, man. What the fuck?
So fucking angry.
Our fucking stepsisters would give up stupid bullshit. Like, I give up jelly beans, And they wouldn't get it until Lent was over, which was Easter, where you would have an assload of fucking jelly beans. Like, oh, look, we got tons of jelly beans. Isn't that nice? You guys gave it up. And yeah, fucking Christ, what a fucking ripoff. Yeah, and then it was the time where we were like,
you're just smarter.
But we got I always got suckered into doing something that was more subversive. Like, it would be like, I'm going to give up arguing with my mom or something, and then like she'd be like, I want you to go outside and weed the garden. And be like, but
again, the impossible task.
Yeah, and then you'd be like,
you can't fucking do that.
Fuck. And then you go outside and do that shit. So
and then of course you do when you make that little promise to yourself, you forget that you made that promise for a month. Or how long does Lent last for?
How long? Until Easter.
I mean, how long did it last total? Like when did it start? When it has 40 days?
It starts from Ash Wednesday until Easter.
Yeah, forget that shit lasts for fucking ever. Okay, when you're a kid, 40 days is fucking forever.
40 days and 27 nights. Wait, what?
Oh my God! So then you're fucking stuck with this goddamn promise you made to God. Okay, God's not like the American legal system. I heard in a TV show once. It goes, the devil goes, God's not the American legal system. You do something, you pay for it. I'm like, oh man. So again, it's like one of those deals where you overshot yourself. Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah.
It's always terrible.
Anderson,
stupid fucking mistake.
Did you have Lent in the Anderson household?
No, we didn't have anything.
Okay. Well, I mean,
So yeah, no, we didn't. No.
Okay, that's fine. I remember when I was a kid and I was in elementary school, I was asking all the kids at my lunch table what they gave up for Lent, and then I asked this one kid, he's like, he goes, I'm not Catholic. And I was like, and then I got all weird. I was like,
and then he beat me up.
I didn't realize there were such people as non-Catholics.
They're called heretics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we lived in an Irish community, so it was kind of odd to run into one that wasn't.
Oh, they're those Irish Protestants,
Well, this was whatever.
We were told to shun them and throw stones if we had.
I think some Protestants believe in them.
We were told they aren't Irish.
Though not all. I mean, it depends. If
it doesn't matter to us because we weren't, and our step family was Polish. So
if you're, I think if you're Anglican, you might. Cease Lent.
Nope.
Okay, Larry.
I gave it up for Lent.
When I was a kid, of course, we had to at least go through the motions because through grade school and my first 2 years of high school, I was in a Catholic school. So, I was mangled with it on a daily basis. As a little kid, you also had the Lent calendar where each day you would fucking, depending upon what they were doing, you would either flip open the little thing to find some little prayer, or you'd...
keep the faith.
Or then for a while there in the 80s, they were doing the thing where everybody was all about raising money for Africa. So you get the 40 days, and each day you were supposed to put a penny in the slot, and then at the end of, Lent, you would send it to Africa.
Send 40 cents to Africa. I'm sure those Africans really fucking went bonkers.
40 cents will feed a family.
Some African warlord sitting there with your 40 cents like, thank you, white boy.
So,
You're going to be eating them pennies.
And yeah, we did the, giving shit up, although it never lasted because although we were Catholic, although my sister and I went to a Catholic school, we were Catholic largely because the other option was Cleveland Public Schools. So I was like, well then, yeah, we're Catholic. So where's the Catholic school at?
Yeah, and then we have like Ash Wednesday, which is the start of Lent, and we would go to church, and they would have all these ashes, and they would rub them on your forehead, which I can't remember. I remember there's like Palm Sunday, which I think is just the time when you all wish that you were into
a shitty palm you get to take home and fuck the house up with, and finally they just take it away from you.
They would give you like these like palm leaves, and then, like Brian and Kevin would just like smack each other in the face with them. But then there would be other people that would like knit intricate baskets and crazy things out of them, and you'd be like looking at them, going, "My God, these people have talent, and I'm just a loser," But
always a problem.
Yeah, and so I think I was like, where do the ashes come from? Do they just burn a body? And and they're like, no, they burn the leaves from the palm trees. I don't think any of that's true, but it does make you kind of wonder. Does the church just like bring in like a pile of ashes? And then
I think it done
cleaning out their fireplace.
The flames, they take some of the leftovers and
yearly fireplace cleaning. Everyone's just gonna rub this up.
Some greasy drunks fucking ashes are all over your forehead.
Yeah. And then you got to leave it on your head all day, so you go around walking around with a crab on your head. What's that crab on your head? It's Ash Wednesday. I can't get rid of it.
I know, but we had to, but our fucking family didn't have to. Because that shit came right off and nobody seemed to notice. But with us, it was just like, you take your ashes off. It was done, isn't it? Now, fuck.
All right, so that takes us to Easter, and
Anderson's gonna say I got nothing.
The only thing I remember that was funny about Easter, I'll start, is that my brother and I, when we lived with my dad, it was right after the divorce. It was like when I was in 8th grade and I hadn't yet moved to California, and Brian was in his senior year. And we both said to my dad, we were both like, "Hey, Dad, are we going to do anything for Easter?" And our dad was like, "Well, what do you want to do?" And we both said in separate conversations, but I had overheard Brian's conversation, and I had said the same thing to him at the same time. We were both like, "Well, we don't need any candy or anything, but I was just wondering if we were going to do anything." But in reality, what we were thinking is we'd like some candy. We'd like a basket with garbage in it. And so my dad takes everything you say to the letter, and instead all he did was he colored a bunch of eggs and hid them around the house. So for Easter, I got a bunch of hard-boiled eggs.
You were pretty broke, man.
You're not kidding. It was just like, and he got a big kick out of hiding them in ridiculous places. Like you take a light bulb out and put it in like the thing there, put it in a shoe somewhere and stuff. You're like, hey,
like you're gonna eat an egg after it was in our dad's shoe.
And I'm thinking to myself,
like, even with the shell gone, you're gonna taste foot.
I hope you enjoy eating all these eggs, Dad, because I'm not eating a dozen fucking. I'm not eating
because you'd be fucking. The whole house just reeked later, man.
Bullshit.
Fucking farting egg fart. Fucking horrible, man. Nothing that could be done. He was like, fuck.
It was bad. Okay, so Brian, do you have any Easter memories or anything?
Oh man, I only went. It was like some fucking greedy little bastard, but fuck it, goddamn it! I didn't think this shit was really all that fair. Again, it was a step family thing, and I'll never forget. All right, because I pay really close attention. I mean, we're just grateful to have any kind of goddamn trinket, to throw in our jaw that was a sweetie thing. the first thing that would always happen is our step family, they wouldn't eat their candy right away. Okay? They would get candy, but then it's like they just would wait for us to eat all of our candy, and then they would tell us, well, we have candy still, you don't. You know, you're like looking at their candy going, I want their candy too, because I want more candy, because you forgot me, right? So, but no, the next thing I remember too, the reason that they had more candy is because they got more candy. I distinctly remember we went over to the, remember we had this conversation where we talked about going over to the relative's house for Easter. And so we got up there, and the next morning we all got an Easter basket. And I was like, oh, cool, we got an Easter basket. That's awesome, you know. And I looked at my basket, and I looked at Kevin's basket. Okay, and it was a lot of green hay, which you can't eat because it's plastic.
And 2 of the little tiny chocolate eggs.
It was just not a whole lot going in the way of, you know, Easter
a handful of jelly beans, all black.
It was really, yeah. It was like, put this shit together, man. This is fucking horrible.
It was all the other kids' black jelly beans that the stepmom removed.
Nobody wants to eat because it's yucky, right?
You got all the black and white ones.
Yeah, it was really fucked up. So then, I mean, I'm looking at the other kids in the house, and they all got, you know, the yummy baskets, the ones that had like all the good stuff on it. And I'm like, I didn't say nothing because I'm like, it's Easter, just fucking take what you get, right? But later on, I pointed this out to Dad. I'm like, did you notice that we didn't really get a whole lot of like candy and stuff? Dad's like, don't be greedy.
You get nothing and like it.
Yeah. He's like, you know, you're lucky you got anything at all. I was like,
starving children in Africa.
All right.
No, Dad never threw that because he would have been like, our dad would have been more along the lines of, you know, they don't want to starve, they should get a fucking job. You know.
Yeah, I should point out that, you know, because it sounds all depressing. We're picking out the most depressing points. When the first year when my dad had first gotten married to the stepmonster, he still had a well-paying job. And we had gone to Michigan for Easter, and we had a big basket, and everybody got like a stuffed animal in it. Brian got a polar bear. I got some brown fucking bear thing, and there was a bunch of candy. There was chocolate in it, all this kind of stuff. That year was probably the best year in terms of loot that we had ever as Easter. But it was all downhill once he lost his job, and by the time 8th grade had rolled around, at that point he was so unbelievably broke, like I was telling the people in the forums, that for Christmas I had asked him for some socks, and I got 1 pair of socks and a pocket dictionary for Christmas. That was it. I don't know what Brian, do you remember what you got that year? It wasn't anything major, I know that.
Damn, when the fucking guy get an extra job? Fuck.
Dude, that never occurred to him.
No, we lost Larry. Back.
Anyway, that was one of those things that, like, you know,
let's move.
I look back on how broke we used to be, and I look back. I mean, and I'm looking at the possible jobs that a person could have gotten had they decided to try. And our dad had a lot of pride. He just did. He just did not want to fucking.
Or he was lazy, Brian. He was lazy.
It wouldn't have felt right working with him at Wendy's with you guys. Three bears.
What happened was that he did not pay his taxes, and so there was a huge tax debt, over $10,000, which he didn't make very much to begin with, and this is back in the late 80s. And so the IR, my dad had, like Brian was saying, he had some pride. He would not file bankruptcy, so he still had loans from the houses that he no longer had, that he was trying to pay on, and he had this huge tax debt. And the IRS came in and audited everything that he had and gave him a budget. And they said that this is what you can spend on things. And so he could not get a newspaper, he couldn't get cable TV, he didn't get money he couldn't get money for haircuts, he couldn't get anything extra. It was all adjusted because I don't know if they were garnishing his wages at the time or what. The taxes were different back then, but they had basically made it so he was, you know, unable to get anything
without actually going to prison.
And so had he probably gotten a second job at that point in his life, he would have still had to have paid that money to the IRS. And the thing is that when he died, I still ended up having to pay from his life insurance money over $10,000 to the IRS because when he died, he was still in debt. So
that goes to the house or whatever, like his estate, which is like, because I was wondering about that too. I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen with those bills? And I asked someone like, oh, it comes out of your dad's estate. And I'm like, what estate?
Yeah, there was no estate, but the IRS gets their money. If you die, like nobody else gets your money. Like the bank will call. If you have a car payment, if you have rent due, nobody else gets the money. But the IRS, if you get the life insurance money or whatever it is, the IRS still gets their money. They'll take it right away from you. So he just had right after he got divorced, he just had a shit time, and maybe that was the breaking point of the marriage because when he was talking to Carolyn, maybe he was like, well, the tax people want their money. She might have just at that moment been like, well, that's it, I'm out of here, because there was just no way to get out. So, all right, anyway, let's move along. Anderson, Easter?
We didn't do Easter in my house, so every year I made plans to go to somebody else's house. I always tried to get over to somebody else's house. And I wouldn't get anything. I wouldn't get a basket or anything. This one time I went to my aunt's house and she got me a basket and I didn't know what to do with it. She's like, here you go. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. I'm like, because I wanted to, I wanted to rip into it and just start tearing it up. And I was like, oh, thanks. And I just kind of sat it down. She's like, you can eat it. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, it's for you. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, because you're not sure you got to share it. And shit, you might take the chocolate football or something and be like, I got a chocolate football, but
It's like my parents don't do this, but my aunt does, so I don't know what's going on. And like the one time when I was like really young, I was over at this kid's house. I went to elementary school with Willie Essen, and he got a big basket full of chocolate and stuff like that. And he was like, I hate chocolate. I can't stand this stuff. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, do you want it? And I was like, hell yeah. I'll take whatever you don't want. I said, whatever you don't want, you give it to me. I'll take it. He pretty much pulled everything out of that basket and gave it to me. And then his mom found out. She was like, empty your pockets. Get that out. That's not yours. You put it back. I was just like, he said I could have it. She's like, that's his. And I was like, yeah, but he doesn't want it. I'm like arguing with her because I want all the chocolate. My parents don't do that stuff. So, yeah. No, that's pretty much it for me on Easter.
Didn't you hate when you got the Easter basket and had that grass, that plastic cellophane in there, and you got to dig through it. You're like,
it's stuck everywhere.
Yeah,
right. Well, that's what I remember when the ex was like, "Oh, we're gonna put Easter baskets together," and I was like, "All right, that's cool." And she went and she grabbed 2 baskets, and then she grabs 2 bags of that stuff, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "You need this to put in the basket." I was like, "No, you don't." She's like, "Yeah, you do." I was like, "No, you don't." She's like, "Yeah, it makes the baskets look nice." I go, and then the kids get it everywhere, and it's just all over everything, and you find it years later. I'm like, it's
they wind up wasting a fistful of it stuck to the big giant money.
It's like whoever that's just on your Christmas tree later, man. You're like, what the fuck? How'd this get here, man?
Whoever invented that stuff was a very smart man or woman. I don't know, but whoever was like, I'm going to bag up a bunch of shredded plastic and tell them it's fake grass.
Yes.
It's going to be, it's just it's probably just
all their scraps, and every year you have to rebuy it because it's not like a decoration that you're going to hang on to like your Christmas.
Oh no, I kept it. I was like, screw you.
It's fucking 3 feet thick of fucking green grass.
It sat on top of the refrigerator for 6 months.
I think
the kids always wanted to play with it. I was like, no.
I think some candy company's missing their calling by turning that into some sort of candy, like the Big League Chew people or something. Like they just have a bunch of green gum at the bottom and sell that.
I'm just gonna shred colored pieces of paper and just sell that in a big bag of stuff. So here you go. That way, when you're done, you can throw it in the fire. It's environmentally safe.
There you go. Easter.
Easter, yeah, I used to get the basket every Easter.
Bastard.
We used to get a real cheap chocolates that tasted like grit, but everything. But the Easter bunny was always good. I don't know why. So I always eat that first and fucking throw all the grass all over the place. But the biggest thing we used to do is we used to go to my grandmother's house, and that was that house never changed since it was built in the 1800s. So when you went over there, the carpet over there was a 1/4 inch thick, and it was like fucking sandpaper. But all the adults had somewhere to sit, and the kids had to be on the ground for fucking hours. And it was just fucking, it was hell. By the time I got home from there, my knees were bloody and shit, and fucking couldn't sit right, and just fucking insane. Other than that, she cooked really good, but just the torture of sitting there and watching them talk and and listen to my grandma's polka music. It was just like,
yeah. When we lived
torture when you were a kid.
When we lived with our stepmonster, what they would do is that we would have to go to church in the morning, and because it was Easter, we were supposed to feel bad that Jesus died on the cross, and then we'd go eat a bunch of chocolate, and we would there would be no candy in the morning. We would go to church first, and then they would delay us or something because one of the parents would drive home really quick and set the baskets up and hide the Easter eggs or something, and then we would go home because I can understand though, because you wouldn't want to have a bunch of kids eating 5 pounds of candy before they went to church. As we probably all just screaming our eye, with massive sugar rush running around. I'm the devil, I had a hard enough time at church. I could barely take it. Anytime I was there, I'd start sweating and shit and want to pass out. Larry, Easter?
Easter, I remember when I was really, really young. Easter was where I most egregiously suffered for being the firstborn. Because my mom
blood over the head.
My mom
fucking part of your door there, so the angel of death would pass you by. Wrong religion.
Well, there was that too, but my mom was really into the cute little outfits for the kid, and so I still have pictures of some of the color coordinated outfits I got. The personal favorite Easter outfit. There's a picture of me. It's basically a Sherlock Holmes get-up. I got that bad, plaid trench coat and the hat. That's when I was 5 or 6. There's another one of me in a bad beige suit standing next to my sister who is in some,
money these days,
pink shawl.
Yeah, did you have the clip-on tie?
Oh, yeah. I had
those. Tie.
Yeah. Dude, clip-on tie was nothing. I'll see your clip-on tie and trumpet with Sherlock Holmes hat. So
I'll take you. Go ahead, sir.
Easter was always time for a new bad outfit. The other one was Easter was the first holiday where I officially 100% for real found out that it wasn't real. I don't remember how old I was, but I was old enough to start wondering about the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. And there was one night I was up watching TV, and my dad came downstairs. He's like, you know what? It's late and I'm tired. So the Easter candy is out on the porch under the swing. If you can get that out for you and your sister and hide the eggs, that'd be great.
Could you imagine, though, Santa Claus is like a guy. So if you saw Santa Claus, he's like, ho, ho, ho. But a giant rabbit would be frightening as hell, It'd be fucking in there, you'd be like, run away.
Go downstairs, you go to the bathroom, get a drink of water, and there's a 6-foot bunny.
Right. Big teeth, all yellow and looking at you.
Eyes red or pink.
All right.
It's Easter Bunny. We made it into some sort of satanic creature.
I know, at least in my head, the 6-foot bunny had some, bad Technicolor vest on and a bow tie. He wasn't foaming at the mouth with glowing red eyes and shit.
Well, it's always a cartoon on TV, but in real, they don't do the live action Easter Bunny. I think it'd be a little bit creepy for kids.
Behind the rabbit.
We'll have to do that. Scare your kids into
all right.
sugar shot.
So, it's good that Firefly decides to crash again. It's an awesome application. Let's move on then to, technically the holiday is New Year's Day, but tend to all celebrate
but nobody's awake to celebrate it.
Right, we all celebrate it on New Year's Eve. And
it's actually, if you think about it, it's the most correct use of a holiday. Because you're using that day off to sit and do nothing.
Except keep yourself from vomiting everywhere.
Fucking hangover.
You don't have much choice though, because nothing's open. It's
absolutely nothing, man. Only specific. You find out what gas station's going to be open on the off chance. I have no choice. I've got to go in there. Oh my god, I'm going to vomit. It's one of those deals.
And you're the only one there. Oh, you got any brownies for sale?
Oh yeah.
Look at the munchies. Get out of here. You know.
So horrendously sick, you know?
It's like the only day of the year that White Castle is closed, that kind of thing. I don't.
And it's the one day everybody wants to go there.
Yeah. So New Year's Eve, you know, I don't really do a lot on New Year's Eve now that I'm older, and I don't think I did a lot when I was younger either. Kind of just one of those things where, you know, people in New York lose their fucking mind because a Christmas ornament falls down or something, and
it doesn't break.
Yeah, and then it's a new year, and I don't know, but you guys can tell me, Brian, New Year's Eve memories, anything?
No.
I don't remember any of them.
Yeah. I
can't remember.
When I was a kid, it was, once again, as a kid, we'd go over to the grandparents' house and we'd wait for the fucking clock to tick down, and you'd be running around like a bunch of fucking rabid goddamn savages and shit. And, you know, the grown-ups would be upstairs, but oddly, they seem to get grumpier as the fucking clock ticked down because they're getting more fucked up. You know, they were just going, Happy New Year, you know, and fucking everybody's happy, blowing fucking, you know, noisemakers and fucking
chunks.
shakes. Yeah, you're fucking like, yeah, let's get into the spirit, you know, woo-hoo, fucking Happy New Year, yeah. You know, you get older, it's like, you know, then you realize you're the grumpy fucker because you know, you're like, I want to hear all that racket.
Another fucking year for death.
Yeah, Christ, what the fuck am I gonna do now? You know, it's a new year, nothing's really changed. I'm old, gonna die soon. Fuck, you know.
I mean, I've been to parties with people and stuff, and like, you know, it goes to midnight and everybody sings a stupid song, but I don't know.
Goddamn
nothing eventful ever happened.
I didn't know any of them. I just showed up. Like, they might sacrifice me to Satan, but at least I'm out of the house. That was pretty fucking weird.
Anderson, New Year's Eve?
Nothing really major. I mean, I'm pretty much the same way. It's like it was just when I was older, it was just go to party. Where's the party at?
Yeah, because I don't remember.
Okay, everybody's going to be there. But when I was a kid, we used to go up to. My parents used to take me up to Canada every New Year's, and I would spend New Year's up there with like my brothers. We'd go to like an aunt or an uncle's house, and you know, it was like the typical party with all these Scottish people, and everybody's talking and jibber jabbering, and everybody's and then 10, 9, Happy New Year. You got the noisemakers, and you're doing all this stuff. Yeah. And then everybody's like, okay, let's go home. Dad's drunk. Dad was always drunk though, but whatever.
It just seems like a meaningless
nothing really
holiday.
major. It was like just a reason to eat and drink, to drink a bunch of pop and to eat a bunch of junk.
I mean, really, it's better when you're a really young kid because you usually didn't get to stay up that late, you know.
Yeah,
and so
right.
now you get
to watch that goddamn fucking Rudolph's Shiny New Year with Eon the Terrible. You know,
bullshit like that.
Favorites, man.
Cease.
New Year's, I've got 3 of them I remember. The first one, and it was my first lay.
You got laid on.
I was at a party, girlfriend. Back then I was all fucking like, ooh. But so I was with this woman.
How's that changed, really?
I was going to say, as opposed to...
Most guys
I'll kill you today, where I'm, yeah.
I live in Columbus still, so I'm safe.
Huh?
I'll tear you apart.
I'll kill you where you stand.
Well, anyways, yeah, we were there drinking and stuff, and next thing we're at this party, and this was with the Dagger Hair people. I think Kevin was home. I think I drug this girl upstairs at this guy's house. He's like, "What?" I'm like, "Hey, bedroom." He goes, "What are you gonna do? Sleep or?" I'm like, "Or." He's like, "All right, go that way." So we went in there and did our shit. And I think I called Kevin at like 3:00 in the morning. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking out of it.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
He remembers that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking got it over with. I was like, damn, like 4 days away from my fucking 18th birthday or something. Yeah, I had to get it done.
Yeah, I was always in that situation where I just had a girl and a bottle of champagne or something, and that was it. You know, that was my New Year's Eve. I was never really had to go out.
Smoothie.
2 more, C's. Go for it.
The second one, I remember going to another one of those parties. It might have been a year later, and I like tried to hook up with all the women in the whole party, and Kevin was at that one. I think you were at that one.
Probably.
Because I think you were fighting with, or you were trying to Yeah, that's what it was.
We were at that one.
You were trying to be with Heather, and then fucking some douchebag was.
Well, her mom had kept us apart, right? And I spent the time talking to Roger's,
as usual,
Roger's girlfriend, and she was getting in the hot tub. I don't remember all of it. It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I had made out with Roger's girlfriend. He got all mad. I made out with Erica. Remember, Brian remembers Erica.
Yeah, I just became friends with her.
And somebody else. What the fuck else? A couple other ones. It was funny. They're all mad at me. They're like, I'm making chai to me. I'm like, no, that was the end of that. And the third one, I just remember it was last year. It was a fucking bash. It was just a friend from my work, and there was just lesbianism shit going on and lots of dancing. It was a fucking good party. Damn good.
Okay.
Every one of them, I remember I ended up laying on the ground and sleeping in the middle of the living room. Underneath the fucking table, or whatever.
That's where all the action happens, under the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anderson, you going to bring up that damn Sean Baby thing again, or is that story going to be brought
No,
up?
I wasn't planning on it, but I said to myself, if you say something, I was probably going to go ahead.
I think we covered it before, and
I know,
I've already taken my
beating
about that one.
I don't know if you noticed, but you had already moved on past me.
It was bad. I know, but I think maybe in the back of my mind you're going to just bring it up once it clicks into your brain. So I thought I would head you off.
It was 10 New Years ago when I was told to come down.
All right.
No, go ahead. I'm not going to go into it.
It's
go ahead.
Not even that good of a story. It's just a boring.
Come on,
story.
now we all got to hear it.
No, you have heard it before. You've all heard it before.
You've all heard it before. It sucked.
Yeah, it's not good.
I never heard it.
You did.
People were all right. It was just really strange.
Neither have I. What the fuck?
There was nothing happened. It was just Anderson got invited to a party that he thought was going to be cool. Like Sean Baby was there. It was all the people down at the Superior Aqueduct, Chad, Eric, all them and stuff. And it was kind of lame. That's all. But
that's the story.
Yeah, but you guys had heard the story already. So,
but I always bring it up. The thing is, I always brought it up.
It's my fault because I told him it was going to be good, and
I always bring it up to him. I'm always like. That's why he's like, you're not going to say it.
Anderson.
No, I'm not.
Anderson crushes. Yeah, there's no good to the story. Okay.
You couldn't smoke in the building.
Yeah, really? Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, I didn't know who half those people were either.
I was like, what kind of party is this that you can't even smoke in it?
Those that don't know Sean Baby but know of him, he had at the time, probably still does today, but I don't talk to him today, has an entourage. And they're just a bunch of people that he hangs out with. So, like, when he talked to Eric, he would be like, Eric, I'm going to come out to Cleveland and I'm going to stay at your place, or however that worked out. And Eric would be like, cool, man, come on by. Well, when Sean comes, he comes with, like, 8 to 10 people. And then they're all, like, people that are friends of his. And you're just like, wow. There's, like, I would go to Eric's house and there would just be, like, a dozen people in his living room and stuff and watching, like, blaxploitation films or something, and you just be like, who are all these people, and then you get introduced to all of them, but I mean, you just don't know who any of them were. So they were there at this party with me and Anderson's girlfriend,
Adam. We took Adam with us.
Was Adam there too? Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I had no problem with them guys, with Chet and Eric and and all them, but it was just there was that one side of the room that wasn't. They just stayed up against the wall.
Yeah, it was weird.
And it was just like, okay.
A conversation killer then, huh?
And then they started riding each other around the room, and people were like flipping, and they were like rolling around on the ground. There was just one dude, I don't even know. I can't even remember how he was dressed. All I know is he was fucked up looking. He was all like, I don't know. He had his backpack on him, and he like had it on him. I mean, like if you go into the room, you're like, okay, I'm here. You take your backpack off, set it down. No, he wore it the whole time.
Yeah.
I think we brought like a 6-pack with us or something like that.
The guy with the shirt,
and there was
German
no other beer.
A bag of weed in there or something.
There was no other. No, trust me, he didn't. We brought like a 6-pack, and there was no other beer in the place.
Well, there was a keg. Wow. There was a keg in the back. There was a keg. No, there was.
Was there a keg?
Yeah, there was.
I don't remember. Okay.
But I
think everybody. Yeah.
It was just weird. It was just weird.
It was yeah.
But everything is with them. See, that's a lot of people don't know that old. But those guys, you think it would be like really cool and everything to hang out with all those guys, and it's cool, but it's weird
to an extent. Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, I don't know, because they're just different. All right. Anyway, Larry.
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve.
I mean, it's mostly the same shit. I remember in high school the one time it was me and our good friend Dave from the Soprano Brothers, and his girlfriend was like babysitting for somebody, so there was no going out. So instead, my girlfriend and I went over where she was at with him, and we're like, hey, it'll be great, because he had, at the time, his older brother's ID, and they looked close enough that he could use it. So we're like, you girls wait here. We'll go get some champagne and ring in the New Year in style. And we went to get some champagne. And, of course, when you're like a junior or senior in high school, where do you go for your champagne? You go to, like, Convenient. Yeah. And I remember Dave made a point. I was like, I picked some shit. He's like, no. We're getting champagne. We're going to impress him. We're going to get you some tonight, Lair. Watch. We're getting, and he picked out like the $9 bottle of champagne. He's like, we bring this in, we're in.
Yeah, this is going to get us pussy. This is
needless to say, too.
Pink. Look, it's
for
pink.
Me.
Girls like pink champagne.
I also. Other than that, it's the same shit. Hanging out wherever I'm at and watch bad movies, watch the ball come down.
So you guys are saying
times I've gone to Rob's house, and you guys know Rob, and you can imagine. Well, and Don and Kevin, Rob's dad.
Sure.
So you can imagine New Year's Eve over there with all the sauce, the platter of sausages that Rob made in the basement. And the homemade cheese, and the wine that Uncle Carmen made in his basement, and
nobody's
like, yeah. So it's a good time.
Yeah, nice guys, but not the people you probably want to spend New Year's Eve with. So wait, so Larry and Brian, you guys never had like a New Year's Eve at Sean's during role playing night or anything that didn't go down for you?
I can't remember. I'm sure we
No,
did. But
there never was. What's the next holiday? Tooth Fairy. Let's talk about the Tooth Fairy.
Okay, now I got to know. What did we do? What the hell did we do this time? I remember he had Halloween one time. It was like he had bobbing for apples.
We're gonna get to Halloween. Don't talk about it yet. You can bring. You can store.
I know. I'm just
store that one.
Wasn't New Year's the time that I wound up in the room with his wife? Wasn't that New Year's, or was that Halloween?
That was Halloween, dude.
Oh, was that Halloween?
Yeah.
I thought we had a New Year's there. Or was
sure we did.
Or was New Year's the time that you and I both fell asleep there, and you woke me up the next morning because Lori called all pissed?
Yeah, she called fucking Sean's house.
Or was that Halloween too?
No, that was fucking New Year's, I think.
Yeah,
it's cold out, and she's just like, I'm like, because you know what she's gonna do? She's gonna keep fucking calling. Like I'm like Cameron in fucking Risky Biz, or not Risky Biz, but
Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller, yeah, going. She'll keep calling. She'll keep calling. I gotta fucking just get rid of her because the last goddamn thing I wanted to do was be horribly fucking embarrassed by having my fucking wife like, "Are you coming home?" I'm like, why do I need to be home? Because I just want you home, which meant I want to be a pain in the ass. Like,
that's what they all do.
All right.
Well, the other thing I remember about that is, I was, asleep under the table or whatever.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of room given up for everybody else to
And Brian wakes me up. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. You got to take me home now.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So we crawl out of Sean's, and I'm driving, and Brian's still like tipsy or whatever you want to call it. Because I just remember the one moment where I think it was when one of us had to pull over the car to puke in the Taco Bell parking lot, and we get back in the car, and Brian just gives me that like drunk guy look. He's like, "Dude, you're my best friend."
I was so fucked up. Oh my god!
Any of my other friends would have told me to fuck off, but you,
I would have.
They probably, yeah.
And then he just kind of went back to looking out the window again.
The other time where I told you to pull over, I'm going to throw up.
What's that?
Was that the time where I was like, dude, you got to pull over here in the fucking Taco Bell parking lot because I'm going to vomit? And I did.
I'm not sure if that's what happened or if I pulled over and told you that that's why we're pulling over because I had to throw up.
It could have been.
But I just remember you're my best friend. None of my other friends would be doing this, man.
I know there was love.
There was. It was. There was
love that Larry immediately and rightfully mistrusted.
Yeah.
I remember pissing behind fucking rallies at the drive-through.
What?
I remember pissing at rallies and behind the drive-through.
Oh, dude, I pissed in fucking White Castle's bathroom on their floor.
Oh, wait. See, now it's all coming back to me now.
Okay, you guys can save the random pissing in places for the gross show if you want.
Yeah.
Not for the holiday show. All right, so next, Anderson,
happy holidays.
Anderson, you keep having epiphanies. Do you have some other New Year's Eve thing you want to bring up? Or
I was just going to say, I remembered one New Year's Eve. Didn't they have a New Year's Eve when Howard Stern did one of his pay-per-views? Was that a New Year's Eve?
I think it was
he had
Fiesta or something.
The Butt Bongo Fiesta? Was that on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, he had one on New Year's Eve.
I know he did one on New Year's Eve.
Okay, then it was a New Year's Eve, so I can talk about it. Yes. There was some party at Sheila's house. Remember Sheila?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I woke up. I don't remember much about the party. I think we tried to like duct tape Molman to a chair. And I remember watching Howard Stern over and over again because somebody ordered it on pay-per-view. And then like I woke up in the morning, not on the steps, but on the landing. Like, you know how you go up like 7 steps and then they have that little landing and then it turns to the right and goes up. I was on the landing. I woke up on the landing. Yeah, I was like, wow, that just came to my mind for some reason when I was thinking. And then, there was another one, but I completely forget it right now.
Okay. So that takes us to St. Patrick's Day. And to me, St. Patrick's Day is kind of a ridiculous ridiculous holiday because basically you're supposed to go drink beer and eat corned beef, but in Cleveland there's still icebergs in the road and everything. So
and plus that's what everybody does every day anyways, eat corned beef and
everybody's Irish except everybody's fucking pretty much Irish anyway.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear green to work, and for some reason I just never, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that forgot to wear green.
That guy.
I might wear like an orange shirt or something, and Brian would always be like, don't wear fucking orange.
Nice.
When somebody sees you, they're going to kick your ass. Like it matters or something. I'm like a kid.
It does to them.
Somebody's going to pull over.
Like you're in Southern Ireland.
Yeah.
Sirens are going off everywhere.
You, kid.
Car bombs.
Happy St. Patrick's Day!
Like orange is
yeah,
the opposite of
leprechauns on the fucking Sci-Fi Channel all goddamn day long, which is like the highlight. For those of us who don't really give a fuck.
As long as it ain't that leprechaun and fucking in the hood.
So, Brian, do you do anything on St. Patrick's Day? Do you go out?
I used to. I used to go to the parade, and I used to go out and I get extremely shit-faced, right? Because, you have to find that one bar that isn't overflowing in fucking drunken mix. I'm at the point where I really don't even really like Irish people anymore. I mean, half my friends are Irish, I'm just kind of tired of partying with them because, they make it out like it's really great being Irish, and from what I can tell, it's not. It sort of looks like it's shitty.
No.
So I give up
fucking like hard-ass jobs and fucking drink yourself.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, just not particularly sure I care, And second off, it's a Catholic holiday, and I'm kind of like, well, it was like actually only a few years ago where I really found out what the fuck St. Patrick's Day was all about. It was when St. Patrick went to Ireland and drove out the pagans.
The snakes.
Yeah, the snakes.
Yeah, that's what the fucking snakes represent. Okay?
The Brian Bairds.
I'm like, why the fuck am I celebrating this? And it's like, that witch burnings and all that other bullshit back then. I'm like, why am I celebrating this? It sounds like a really shitty fucking holiday, So I just, really, it's drunk driver day. I normally have to work it too. So that is no fucking fun because you're just like, if you know that you're driving, especially any kind of like job where you're going to be out amongst the public, that doesn't concern yourself with like serving them. You just have to be like, delivery vans, something like that, and you have to fucking be amongst the public on a known holiday where like like New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Day. Those are days where we're just kind of like, Christ, man, maybe I can call off sick because they're just going to be nothing but fucking drunken assholes. And at first it's all merrymaking, but by the end of the night, they're drunken assholes. They all just want to get into bar fights, and fucking all pissed off and angry, especially because, like Kevin said, it's fucking Cleveland. It's freezing goddamn cold out, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, man. I just want to fucking get my job done. So no real good happy memories as fucking far as St. Patrick's Day. I went to the parade once and wore my kilt. That was a mistake.
And you got to work the next day too, so you really can't go out and get all shit faced.
You're usually working that day,
Right?
Yeah,
right.
So
And
I
the
got
next
that day off. And it was like next day. I think was like a holiday anyway. So I mean, our weekend. So I didn't have to really worry about it. It's just I went there. I went downtown. I fucking celebrated with everybody else, and I had that kilt on, and the wind coming off that fucking lake, dude. I'm just like. I'm like, oh my god, is it fucking? I now have a new fucking respect for chicks because this fucking sucks.
They wear nylons.
Dude, I'm not wearing no goddamn nylons. I was fucking freezing.
Joe
man.
Namath
I'm
wears
like,
nylons.
this is fucking stupid. And then like some chick looked at my kilt and she goes, "That's not a real kilt." I know a kilt when I see one. And my girlfriend who was standing right there who bought it for me. He like also was just like, "What did you say?" I'm like, "Oh god damn it, here we fucking go," And it's like, "All right, honey, we're gonna go find some place to drink quietly." I'm standing around drinking beer with everybody else, and I'm like, they're all Irish, and they all look like they're pissed off about something. I think it's time to go. So,
Okay, Anderson.
hi, good.
St. Patrick's. Do you do anything?
No.
You don't.
I argued with my fifth grade teacher over St. Patrick's Day. I refused. She was like, "Okay, we're going to do all kinds of St. Patrick's Day stuff." I was like, "Nope, I'm Scottish. I'm not doing any of it." She was like, "What?" And I was just like, "I'm not going to do it." I said, "I don't believe in this holiday. I'm not Irish." I say it's offensive to me. I was telling her it was offensive to me and stuff like that. She's like, "Oh, calm down. You're not Scotland.
Knock it off.
You
Don't be an
know?
ass."
And then Anderson fell asleep.
Pulls off a Molotov cocktail for
That
there.
was fifth grade. That was fifth grade.
So so basically,
So I
just
wasn't
like
sleeping yet.
I'm sure it was probably like, where can I squeeze some sleep in?
You know,
Everybody's cutting out shamrocks. All right, I'm going to sleep.
I wanted to be unique. I wanted to be different.
See?
That was my rebellious nature.
Do you do anything on
You know
St.
what?
Patrick's Day?
No, normally not. I only went once that I know of, and this I did the downtown thing and froze my ass off. Drank like crazy about 9 o'clock in the morning, tried to get
Beer's
a buzz.
always overpriced.
Yeah, I passed up the buzz, went right to sick. So, the whole day I was just kind of balancing out, trying to not vomit, and I was down there with a couple of friends. And and I saw Mayor White. That's I forgot when that's when he was down there. And yeah, that was about it. And the horse is shitting next to me with a cop on it, and fucking. It was not fun at all.
Dude, I worked in a bar at fucking St. Patrick's Day when I worked downtown. That was god awful. Because people they go to the parade, they come in, and it's like cool for tips, but it's like you got to serve the public, and it's like it was kind of like an almost night, like a pub. So like you're just surrounded by fucking drunken,
The House of Pain is in there or something, and
You do know it was all like shitty fucking Irish music. It was all like solemn stuff. I guess that was almost like a good idea just to keep people from like
And Irish eyes be smiling.
Yeah, crap like that, man. You're like, oh Jesus Christ! And it's not like it's like one of those giant 8-tracks that they have in like restaurants. You have to hear that song at least 3 fucking times. You're like, please stop playing this. Can we please play something? No, it's St. Patrick's Day, and like everybody, like every third person that would come in there would be a demanding fucker. Like, what the fuck, man? I've been waiting for 20 minutes to get a goddamn beer. It's like, dude, there's 500 goddamn people in this restaurant. Why in the fuck wouldn't you have to wait fucking 20 minutes? Shut up or get the fuck out, But you can't do that. Just for some odd reason, we think we need their goddamn business. It was just fucking horrible.
Larry?
Not really. It's because it's one of those ones that isn't an official holiday and is entirely likely to land on a weekday. Believe it or not, shocking as this may be, I've actually had to work most of them. That was the one nice thing for when I had that period of unemployment, was I actually got to go do the kegs and eggs and start drinking at 7 in the morning on St. Patrick's Day. But since most of my friends were working, it is actually kind of sad.
Yeah, but you are Irish, though. So, like, did you get, like, sort of spiritual fulfillment out of it? Like,
yeah.
Ireland.
I feel the deep spiritual connection with my Irish roots. And, yes, I always find some sort of way to wear green so I won't get beat up. But
drinking the green beer.
Yes, yes.
So
with all, I mean, you got to drink the green beer, but
oh, got to.
almost always the green beer is nasty. I've in my life came across one place where I was like, okay, I'm going to have one green beer just because it's St. Patrick's Day, and then I'm done because this shit is gross. I was like, wow, you guys actually managed to make it green without making it taste like, shitty minty beer.
And then later that night, the police officer was like, "Why's your tongue green?"
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fuck you.
I know you drank at least one.
I love you, man.
Dude, when you fart that shit up later, it smells so fucking bad. You're just like, what the fuck did they put in there, man?
Brian, when you fart...
That's like the fucking... That is like the one good thing about fucking St. Patrick's Day. At least you get some decent fucking... if you go to a decent place anyway. If you're lucky enough to go to like a place that serves decent food, you can get some decent Irish food. Not all Irish food is totally fucking horrible. Although it comes close.
When Brian farts, it's the kind of thing that makes you want to leave the house, trust me.
Dude, I took a shit the other day.
So
I'm like,
goddamn
you're
bad.
getting really old when you take a shit and you walk away and 5 minutes later you walk in the bathroom and you smell it and it about kills you.
You know that
It's
thing,
yours.
You know that thing where like somebody farts around you and you put your T-shirt up over your nose to kind of like block the
Won't
scent
save you.
out.
Your eyes start to water.
No, Brian's is like, you feel the vomit rising and you're like, oh my God, I gotta get out. You're going for the door. How's this thing work? He's got like 6 locks on his door. You're like, and then the screen, he's got one of those screens that doesn't work. It's got that little gay tab on the side. You're like,
you always have to fight with it.
it's too late.
Dude,
You
the best
breathe
part
shit
about
in.
it is I would always go to like game night. I'd go over to Kevin's place and I'd take a shit in the toilet, and then and I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd leave the fan. I'd turn the fan off.
Reading the greasy, sweaty men magazines while you're doing
Yeah,
it.
reading your gay boy magazines,
Yeah.
and then I'd come out and it would just be like, let it go. And I'd try to keep the door semi-closed because I made the mistake one time of taking a shit and then leaving the door open. And within moments,
Right.
I'm just like, dude, what the fuck?
It crept out.
Kevin came out with like a fucking thing of incense. He walked in the bathroom like he was paying homage to the toilet god to take the fucking fiendish stink away. It was just really fucking horrible. So I learned to fuck, all right, take the poop and then keep the door semi-closed so the next goddamn dude that goes in there just dies. And all I ever hear is like either Kevin or Larry would walk in that bathroom like, Jesus Christ. You're the bathroom fan. You hear spray.
Well, it's always one of those things where we'd be like playing the role-playing game.
Kevin,
or
thanks for
something.
having us over. I'm going home.
And Brian would
To
be
use
like,
the bathroom, and I'm not going in there.
Brian would be like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Be like, oh, fuck, here we go. Because it'd be like an hour in there. And
Yeah,
shit.
20 minutes later, you're like, Brian, come on.
Reading
That's
whole
because
novels.
Kevin's goddamn bathroom was right next to the kitchen table where everybody's playing. So he's like, all I'm hearing you guys trying to like keep it down, pretending I can't hear you, even though I know I can. He's like, what's he doing there? He's probably jacking off.
Probably was.
You probably were.
Kevin since Oz did jack off in Kevin's bathroom that one time, Kevin has made it a point of not keeping anything sexy remotely. Even comic books that might have
I
some
didn't have
skin on it.
anything
He's like,
sexy in the bathroom the one time. He just, we weren't there. And he said, well, nobody's home. I guess I'll,
Take care of my
Kevin's
business.
bathroom.
masturbate on Kevin's toilet. I'm like, all right. And then tell me about it later, which was weird.
Yeah. Kevin came in there later with a blowtorch. Why's your seat all brown and crusty? Shut up. You don't want to know, really.
I hung out with guys that would get like a can of sardines and then go out to the park and smell it so they could make themselves throw up. That was the
No, they would drink the half gallon of chocolate milk first, or the big quart thing of chocolate milk first.
They used to sit there and watch G.G. Allen fucking videos, and then they put on porn and sit around
wrong with
together
these
and
people?
jerk off into their socks.
all right.
I'm like, they would tell me about that.
I'm really sorry that I missed those good times.
No,
Okay,
That was a
we'll-
part of my life, dude,
we'll
where I
talk
wasn't
about,
around
like,
either. I'm like,
Back on the subject, guys. This is getting
what?
a little weird.
That's not a holiday.
There are things that happen that are weird that we're still. Brian and I are still trying to interpret some things that have happened.
yeah.
We need to like talk about them sometimes because we're like, are we sure that experience happened? 'Cause
Right? I mean,
it was very bizarre.
is that just one guy saying that, or did they really do that? It's like, I don't want to know. But oddly, I do want to know. Like, how fucked up do you have to
Wanna
be?
know.
Right.
They
And they weren't even fucked up when they were doing half that shit.
They'd buy magazines.
That's why they were doing it, because they had nothing going on.
So messed
Because they
up.
probably didn't have any alcohol.
Okay. Halloween. This is the last major holiday we're going to discuss. Then we got a few leftovers.
The holiest of holies.
There's different aspects to Halloween. There's young when you're trick or treating, and there's like the teenage years when you go to haunted houses, and then there's an adults. So let's start going around and talking about childhood first. And
Thank you.
Yeah, no piece of cake.
We would. I'll go for it. We would basically get pillowcases to use as our candy sack.
Put over your head.
And we lived in a neighborhood that you could basically go around the block multiple times if you moved your ass and collect as much candy as possible. We would just turn our masks inside out and go out as another monster. And hopefully most people wouldn't catch on. Some people would be like, wait, now, you were already here. You know,
They give you candy anyway, though.
And
like, I know.
you'd stay away from the house that where the guy just gave you like 5 cents in pennies and shit. You'd be like, you know, all right.
Or
Wrapped in
apples.
Scotch tape.
You're not coming back to here. You know, you'd look for the house that give the big candy bar away, the Mally bar or something. And then we'd go home, dump the loot out on the floor, go through it. People are always gay. They're like, make sure there's no razor blades in it and shit. Like, what guy in this down the street's like sitting there working the razor blade into the chocolate to kill the kid, you know? Like, I mean, there's better ways to do it. Just open the door up, pull the 9 out. You know? You're not going to get caught.
It becomes, you know, exponentially harder to get more kids, though. Like, the second kid might step over the corpse and knock on the door so you can cap him. Third kid is probably going to get blocked.
You shouldn't approach. You know, that's just a rule of thumb. You know,
That's why you gotta
if there's
build
blood
all that
spray
fucking
on the porch, I mean, sometimes it's just you can't
It
ignore
could just
that.
be decoration.
Plus, the kid, it's Halloween. People will stand there stunned wondering, is this real or a
They'd be like, that
joke?
looks really good.
And then they'll just be a
You did a
victim.
great job. Here, come on, take a look. You know, they hit you in the head with a fucking.
Yeah, look at this dead
Like,
kid.
look at-
man.
I'm just about to add another body into the pile. Oh, really?
I think that
Yeah,
all
some
comes...
of those guys were scary though, because they're just like, yeah, man, it's going to be yours, and you couldn't do anything because it was back then. It's like, oh, that's kind of funny. No, I'm being serious, and you're just like, oh, Christ.
It all comes back to like Halloween 2, like in the movie Halloween 2, because in the very beginning there's that kid at the hospital that bit into the apple.
razor in his gums.
There's a
Yeah.
razor blade in his gums, and I'm sure parents everywhere went, "Oh my god, that can happen," you know. So,
Yeah, I mean, where the
Well,
fuck did that
the other thing with that is, you know,
look that up?
yeah, you got to go through your kid's candy. Oh, this Twix bar. The wrapper's ripped on this Twix bar. You should,
yeah.
Daddy will keep that one. That one I don't know about.
Or you ever get the homemade cookies that somebody would bake and put into a bag?
Yeah, those always
They
went in
put-
the garbage.
They put their address on there.
Put
It's
that
like,
fucking wax paper on it and shit.
No, you get that fucking that collection. What was it? That popcorn ball. Nobody ate that.
Orange
Oh.
one, you know?
You just knew somebody like peed in the fucking thing when they made it. You're like, I'm not eating that. You know, somebody's fucking around. That was the only thing that like you had no problem throwing in the garbage.
You get those-
I don't know one kid that ate that shit.
you get those grocery store candies that, you know, they're just like some sort of chew or something, or like a hard...
Dots.
It's a fucking caramel with orange and white wrapper.
Yeah, or
What?
just some like hard orange candy.
Jolly Ranchers, but they got Christmas decorations on it. You're like, what the fuck?
What is this? I don't know.
What the
you know,
hell kind of neighborhood were you guys
we'd
in?
always eat the shitty ones
Hey,
first
the
because
shit
I'd try to
was
save.
fucking
I would try to save my better candy bars for later, and
Gobble mine down because
Right.
fucking.
and then my fucking sisters would steal the good candy bars anyway, so that I didn't ever end up with shit. But yeah. All right, Brian. Childhood? Anything? Halloween?
Yeah, we were little kids. I remember because I still have the picture when we went out with our friends, and this was like the one time where I was like, Halloween is magic because everybody would get
The
like
only time you
dressed
guys
up.
ever ate.
All of our neighborhood kids. It's like no, all of the neighborhood kids made homemade fucking costumes. Like all the kids I hung out with, they all made homemade costumes and they looked really good. And there's a picture, and I'm Shazam. It's in a store bought plastic fucking Kmart goddamn outfit. And I don't remember what the hell Kevin was. I don't even know if you were wearing a costume at that point, dude. You
I was
barely see your face in it.
probably a pumpkin.
Oh god, the pumpkin outfit. Yeah, our mom had a pumpkin outfit. It just was absolutely gay. I wore it, and then Kevin was giving it next, and it was just like, you know, like Halloween at that point was not fun. That was like a form of ritual torture. You know, you're like, oh look, I'm a skeleton. What are you, a pumpkin? Ah! You know, fucking,
Or Spider-Man or something.
yes, but I remember that, and then after that, I didn't want any more store bought fucking costumes. I wanted, you know, like let's make our own. So like. A couple of years later, my dad had whatchamacallit. He
Got a piece of sheet metal.
no, it wasn't sheet metal. Our mom is a pastry chef, so she went into like these cooking contests, And what she did is she would take her cakes and put them on like these weird mirrors, like the little round mirrors. Okay. And so what my dad was, he took one of these round mirrors and cut it in like, basically what he does, he took an axe, like a real like rake handle or something, and he made it into a giant two-handed fucking battle axe. And then he took like paper mache and made me a mask. Where quite literally, I look like a brand new type of fucking supervillain.
All right, but hold on, because you say it's an axe, and this was like a halberd. All right, it was taller than Brian, and it was on his huge pole, and it had double edges. So it was like this giant thing. Like he could have worn the blade as wings. That's how big they were. All right.
Yeah,
and
it was really fucking.
And it was metal. It was steel. And if he had swung it at me, he could have seriously decapitated me.
And I did swing it at people because my dad gave this thing to somebody who's really not right in the fucking head to begin with. All right, so here I am.
There wasn't it.
It was really fucking big, dude. It was really fucking big. You wouldn't. I mean, it's unbelievable.
And pointy and dangerous.
Living in North Olmsted or
no,
it's
back
Michigan.
in fucking Michigan. So I was supposed to go around, like a normal child would do. And now understand, this is back in the day. You could not possibly pull this off today, all right? But back in the day, I would go trick-or-treating with a two-handed fucking medieval weapon in my hand, all right? And I was prone to be a somewhat imaginative child, so,
You attacked a lot of trees.
Yeah. A lot of shit got fucking just completely fucking destroyed. I mean, it was just ridiculous, all the fucking shit I just waste. And I just remembered that I walked around and I had like this crazy fucking outfit on, and yet hardly anybody that we knew saw me in it. They just did not see me wearing it because they were all out fucking doing something else that time, and I was kind of bummed out over it. So,
okay.
There it is. Story's done.
Anderson, childhood, Halloween?
Yeah. Of course, trick-or-treating in the 70s, you got to remember those plastic outfits that you used to put on, and they had like the plastic mask with the rubber band, and how
you pull your hair. Yeah.
Yeah,
pull your hair. And how you could just become that person when you have that outfit on. I never had one.
With a breathing disorder. Because you try to breathe in that little hole in the plastic mask. Your face is getting all hot.
Could not breathe in that fucking thing,
no,
man.
It was horrible.
Like,
it was. They expect you to run. You can't. You're like trying to run. You're like, it's all loud in your ears.
Cutting into the side of your face and everything. Yeah,
you can't see anything. You drop your bag. You're like, oh shit. You're like, you drop your pillowcase.
Yeah, I never had my candy stolen, and I never stole kids' candy. That always sounded shitty to me. Take some little kid's candy.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
who the fuck could do that? And I've come to find out later, our little stepbrother was running around doing that shit. And I remember he came. Me and my older stepsister went out one time trick-or-treating together, and it was awesome. We had a great time, right? And then we ran into him, we're like, hey, what's going on? And you could see the side of his face was like kind of puffed up. He was like, he wouldn't talk to us. He was just like fuck you guys. We're like, what the hell happened? We found he was out ripping off little kids, and some guy caught him and punched him like right in the face. I was like, well, good. You're an asshole for doing that, but I didn't say it because he would have killed me.
Okay. Cease? Childhood Halloween?
Yeah, let's see.
What happened to me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you still going?
I interrupted him. I'm sorry.
I didn't even start.
Oh, all right. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Hurry the fuck up already.
I thought you just said that you didn't.
I lived in a neighborhood that was like mostly old people.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So I was always the guy that got the wrapped up pennies and the popcorn balls and the apples and all that and the pencils. Here's an eraser for you.
Pencils, yeah. God, I forgot about that shit.
So yeah, it wasn't that great. I mean, I got good stuff, but I was like you. I kept all the good stuff. I was like, okay, just hold off on the really good stuff and just get rid of everything else first, and then eat all the good stuff later. But then it would be all old and stuff because it'd be like December, because I wasn't allowed to eat all that much. But yeah, and then going out with in high school with like you guys, and going to houses, and people are like, "Aren't you a little bit old for this?" And I'm standing there dressed up like me and Brian Burnett's dressed up like Hans and Franz.
That's teenage years more than kids, but okay, go ahead.
Oh, were we going to jump?
Yeah, we were going to jump to the three different topics.
I'll shut up.
It's not that big of a deal. All right,
move on.
Cease, kids, Halloween.
Yeah. Anyways, Childhood, the worst one I remember, funniest, is my mom. I think I was like 8. She tried to dress me up as a kooky spook. If you guys remember that.
Was that the thing with the head?
Yeah.
Thing.
The big giant inflatable head.
You had to blow up the head.
You blow up this fucking head and you put it on top and you wear makeup on your face of the same color as the fucking thing. She put this makeup on me. And I fucking had a shit hemorrhage. I'm like, hey, where is that? I start crying, shit, throwing around. And finally, this is too stupid. I can't wait. You know, because back then I was already into all this demon shit and watching hell movies and stuff. I'm like, no fucking way I was going to wear no fucking kooky spook shit. And I was like, no way. I cried. She's like, all right, fine, pick something else. I went upstairs and grabbed a mask I had from last year. I was perfectly happy after that. Like, fuck, no way I was going to wear that damn thing.
I was a kooky spook. But,
I remember that.
I don't know how old you were. I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade or something. And no, it was completely gay. You were completely right not to wear it, but I was susceptible to advertising on television as a child and brainwashing, and I was like, I want to be a cookie spook. And,
Looks awesome.
yeah, it's completely dumb of me to do that. So
Horrifying.
okay, Larry.
I actually don't remember any childhood stuff, so
Basically, all your brain cells from your youth are burned up.
pretty much, man.
What the fuck?
I
What
had
the
it.
hell
Yeah,
happened to you?
I had a largely
The hell
forgettable
happened?
childhood, man.
Did you fucking fall down the stairs and lose your memory or something?
Well, you know, my mom did fall down the stairs with me when she was, pregnant. So
Mom, look at me! I got a fork. I'm gonna put an electric socket. No, wait.
Well, his short-term memory is good, but forget it.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got nothing from when I was a kid. I don't want to accidentally get into the preteen years and get yelled at like Anderson did. So
Yelled. Yeah, that's what I did. All right. So let's see. So teenage years, basically. Anderson's going to tell the story about the one time I can recall that we dressed up. But most of the time, what we did, because we were getting too old to go fucking trick or treating anymore, was we would always. Cease and I would always hit like every freaking haunted house in like the area, and we would try to get like to each one, at least one per weekend. And I don't know exactly why, because they're all rubbish, but there was like nothing better to do. I think we would just like always try to go to the best one. You'd always hear about these ones and stuff that people were like, if you can make it through it alive, they'll give you your money back and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
I was never able to find that one.
yeah, you're like, really? Or they'll tell you like, oh, there's this one that down in Akron, and it's like somebody died there and stuff, and you're like, where?
I see that. 'Cause
Yeah.
the one in Akron's really good.
Let's go to that. I want to, and yeah,
7 levels of terror.
yeah, they'd be good. You'd go to them
Right next to the haunted schoolhouse. It's like, Jesus Christ.
and then some of them would be just like really bad, like they'd be in like a grocery store, or something, a bunch of kids. And
Those
stuff.
were the best. There's
Standing
one out in North Ridgeville or whatever that's in a strip mall.
Right. That's one, right? Or just in the woods. They don't even have an indoor thing. You're just out
strip mall, and I remember
walking around the
Sleepy
trees.
Hollow over in Brook Park Road.
Right.
Yeah, that was the other one. The
That
Haunted
one-
Hollow.
that one had
right
the-
next to the mining company and coconuts.
Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly. Horrible.
That had
I
the
went to
tunnel.
that one. That's
You used to have
fucking
to
funny.
crawl
right
through this
behind
little
the
hole.
bar.
Right. You had to crawl through a hole in the wall. It's like so it was like a tunnel that you had to crawl through in that one.
No, it was fucking bad.
And
I
then
remember.
people would like balk at that. They're like, "I'm not going through that hole." They were like, the monster standing would be like, "All right, you can go through this way over here." And stuff. And you'd be like, "Okay." But yeah, then we spent like an enormous amount of time going to these haunted houses. Bloodview Haunted House had the maze, so that was always like
Bloodview
our.
was good.
It was always our favorite because it just had like this really long maze and pitch darkness, total fire hazard. I don't think anybody would get out alive if that place went up. But it was like you would just be getting crushed into the wall because people would keep coming behind you and stuff, and they're like, "Where are we going?" And you're like, "Oh, not this way!" And you're getting smashed in there.
But then a section of wall would like actually just be like a spot where some dude's hiding.
Right,
You know?
right.
You turn to look to see what is that over there. You're like, ah!
And
you know.
it would be pitch black, and you'd be walking, and they would hang these like material things from the ceiling, so like something would drape across your face really quick. And if you ever go to a haunted house and that happens to you, and you have people behind you, lick your fingers and then rub it on the cloth, so the person behind you gets like a wet smack in the face. That's always nasty. But yeah, that's the kind of crazy shit we did. It was not that great. Brian, remember your teenagers at Halloween?
Yeah, it didn't matter how old we were. We would still go fucking trick or treating. You know, I never went to any probably just because I never got invited, but I never went to any kind of school sponsored like Halloween bullshit. I remember they had like dress up in high school, and the first thing you're thinking is I just don't want to look stupid. So either you dressed up or you just didn't wear fucking anything at all. I mean, it was mostly like, hey, I'll just dress like I'm going out and it's summer, because technically it's Ohio and it still kind of is summer, Nothing really big, though. I mean, it was always like I'd go trick-or-treating, because at that time I was kind of like, any kind of like sweet was still, very much welcome.
Brian, do you want to tell people about your Devil's Night thing from Detroit, since you're the only one who really remembers what that is?
Devil's Night in Michigan back then was really heavily celebrated. We used to, it was very serious. I mean, you had to watch because, if you had a fucking enemy, they would come to your house and they'd fuck it up. We were the only house, I think, on that whole street that nobody ever fucked with the house. Probably because they all knew, our parents were fucking had rabies, so they just, like, no, we're not gonna fuck with them. Goddamn, one of them was from goddamn Germany. Fuck knows how she'll get revenge.
But tell everybody what
down the street. Tell everybody. Everybody has big piles of leaves in front of their houses, and our friends down the street. Some dude went over to their house and lit the fucking just gigantic, fall pile of leaves on fire.
Yeah, in Detroit, there's this holiday called Devil's Night. That's not a holiday. That's just celebrated after
I
Halloween.
deliver a lot of glass around that time because people are in Detroit still, I guess.
And the kids go out and raise hell, basically.
Oh, yeah.
If you have pumpkins still out, they smash them.
They fucking smash your pumpkins. Your house will get damaged if you're not. If you have enemies, your house gets fucked up.
That's when you get rolled. That's when all the tricks are supposed to happen after the treats on the night before.
Yeah. It's, and so, people would, have their windows. I mean, windows would get either egged, and in some places, if they really didn't like you, your windows got broken. So you just be hearing horror stories, like wild gangs are coming out of, they're coming out of Detroit, man. They're fucking they're coming. It's just like, oh my God, they nailed down the door and shit like that. And some kids, man, they'd be sitting out there just waiting. They'd be in their house or by the side of the house and they have hot hoses, right? Just to fucking douse anybody that came near them and shit.
Yeah, some parents would sit on their porches with baseball bats.
Yeah, they're just like, fuck you, come near my house, you guys. And it's like, of course, nobody's fucking going to that goddamn house at the time when, the time of night where everybody's up and awake. It was like 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. I just remember we all woke up because down the street we heard fire trucks and shit. And I got out there and looked, because our window was like facing right over there. And I was just like, holy shit, their whole, the whole front of the whole front part of their house was burning away. At the house, but the leaf pile was just like this giant leaf pile. It was just like, I'm like, oh my God.
They would smash our pumpkins, though. I used to get upset because I would come out and the pumpkin be all smashed.
Yeah.
God damn it. I like my pumpkin. Is that retarded?
Just go get another one.
Okay. Anderson, go ahead with your Hans and Franz story.
We went, one of the last times we all went trick-or-treating, and you were working at the Manchu Walk, so that was like freshman year, right? Or maybe sophomore year in high school? I don't remember.
Yeah. Sophomore.
But, okay. And we dressed up like Hans and Franz, me and Burnett, and we would go to doors, and people are just like, "What's that?"
Is that where Jason dressed up a woman?
I think that was. I think that was. Yeah, I think he dressed up like a woman then. Yeah.
We went in a neighborhood over there off of whatever that is. Where was that by Brook?
It was like where Natalie lived. It was up by. It was that road that was next to the Buckeye Lanes that kind of went up. Yeah, Walter. Right.
Columbia Road.
Yeah, it was that. It was near my at the time girlfriend's house, right?
Yeah, and people were like, "Oh, you guys are too old to be out here. You guys are too old. You can't be trick or treating."
Songs or something.
Yeah, I was singing some Frank Sinatra. I went up to the one house. It was Scott, this one dude that we went to school with. Scott, I don't want to say his last name because I don't know why. But he's like, dude, you're in my class. He goes, I know you're too old for candy. And I was like, I'll take a smoke. And he's like, all right, here you go. And he's giving out cigarettes to people. We're walking around with pillowcases dressed up like people smoking. It was, and then we all ended up going up to the mall. We ended up going up to the mall for something because, I don't know, we were doing something. And we had to go up to the Manchu Walk.
Yeah, probably.
And then, of course, then all the other stories are about going to haunted houses, which I didn't do much of because I always worked.
What was that, Briggs? We tried to flip you over in that fucking urine. That,
the porta potty.
John. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just peeing, and I'm sitting there. I was like, I got to pee. And I went in there and peed, and all I heard was, I was like, what the hell? Boom! The thing starts going sideways. I was like, oh, shit. No pun intended. No shit.
Yeah, Briggs was another haunted house for the listeners that we had to wait in line. And I used to have big parties at my little-ass apartment, and typically they happened right about that time, and we would walk from my apartment down to Briggs Haunted House. And then we got a little bit older, and then we would take cars. But like a bunch of people got in the back of the one truck and everything. It was pretty crazy, yeah.
Remember that one time when we walked down, and then we came walking back up Mastic? Remember you brought that flash cube or that flash ball with you?
Right.
And we started messing with those guys in the Metro Parks. We're like screaming at them. They were turning around and flashing their bright lights at us. So we set them all up. And when they came back around the corner, we're like, hey! Yeah, they all turned and looked, and we blinded them all.
Yeah.
We like set the flash off in front of their face. We're like, oh fuck, we can't see. We're
90 seconds.
All right, if you're listening live, Blog Talk's going to dump us in 90 seconds, as you just heard. So, in order to continue listening live, you're going to have to switch to the Shoutcast stream. If you don't know how to get to the Shoutcast stream, go to videogamenews.com, and there's a link on the left-hand side that says Listen Live. Click there, and you'll be able to continue listening to the show. And if you still can't figure it out, feel free to ask in the
60 seconds
at blogtalkradio.com/VGN, and somebody in there will be able to help you listen. Okay. I'm going to dump it right now, though, because it's going to start talking and it's interrupting us.
Were you there for that, Cease, when we walked down there? I think you were.
Yeah.
And then
we went
to somebody's house.
Denny's after that.
No, we went to. Remember, we were walking back. We were walking back, and we stopped at somebody's house and borrowed their inflatable skeleton.
Yeah, you guys know my school. Yeah.
And we put it in the middle of the street. Somebody came driving by and took it. And he's like, "You guys got my skeleton?" We're like, "No, we don't have it." He's like, "I know you guys took it." We're like, "Dude, if we had it, it'd be sitting here, don't you think?" And he's like, "I know you guys took it." We're like, "We don't have it. There's no, we don't have a blow up skeleton around here."
Yeah, do you see one? You fucking idiot.
That was
done my skeleton yet?
Yeah. That's another, yeah. We stole the skeleton, and the guy was all angry.
I thought we drove up to fucking...
You guys might have afterwards. I don't know. That was...
A bunch of people were in the back of my dad's truck, and we were fucking sitting at Denny's, and Burke was all drunk, and he ordered like a milkshake, and he's like, "I'll have a vanilla shake milk," and he starts laughing and shit. That might have been another Halloween. Sorry.
Yeah, if you
might have just been any other weekend.
You people that are listening, when we do the switchover, like this, like we just did, because we got the show started late, you don't have to leave the chat room on Blog Talk Radio VGN. If you're listening on the Shoutcast stream, you can continue to be in the chat room. There's no, it's not exclusive or anything to having to listen. You can be in chat and listen in Shoutcast, just so you know. Okay. Who am I at? Where am I at? I'm getting lost now. That was Anderson.
You're talking about, yeah.
So Cease.
That
was Cease.
I don't know. I just mixed mine with Anderson's because, he just brought up all the shit I was going to bring up. So,
I'm sorry.
No, that's good. No, I'm talk through it.
You're not sorry, you bastard. So, Anderson, are you going to do your WWE thing on Cleveland Sports Radio tonight? Do you have a segment for us? If you're going to listen...
Yeah, I got my wrestling. It's not just WWE strictly.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. The wrestling segment.
Don't offend me.
We're adding a new wrestling segment to the sports show after this show. So if you're listening live and you want to listen to Cleveland Sports Radio after this show ends, we have a new thing where we're going to talk about wrestling. Anderson's going to have a segment, and in the next week or two, we'll probably also be adding a new mixed martial arts segment. So that stick around for that. And if you want to listen to the show because you're not listening to this live, go to clevelandsportsradio.net, and you can find out more information about Cleveland Sports Radio on there.
Are you bringing Kuma in, or are you going to have your own?
No, we're not going to bring Akuma in. That'd be cool, but Akuma has his own show that's like 14 hours long, and no, it feels like that, though, because the guy
is a speech from Castro. It's really good.
It's really, like, chock full of content. So, yeah. Okay, all right. That means, Larry, it's your turn. Teenage Halloween.
Yeah, Teenage Halloweens. It's mostly haunted house stuff. The only ones that really stick out in my mind were the one year it was at Bloodview, which for everybody listening is the scale by which all other haunted houses around here are judged. And I went with my girlfriend and some friends of hers.
You can't really lose either,
Yeah, and we're going through, and there's this one part. It has a few points where they do the thing where they funnel you into some narrow hallway, and then somebody jumps out of the side at you. That we got to that part, and my girlfriend just went fetal on the floor and refused to move. She just instantly dropped. And I was like, okay, he's gone, let's go. And she just stayed there and wouldn't budge. So after, which of course then backs everybody else up. Everybody gets all pissed because, you're being a dick or whatever. We're trying to, come on. So finally, I basically had to pick her up, throw her over my shoulder, and carry her out. So that was one of my more memorable Halloweens. The other one was the haunted forest out there in Sheffield, or the haunted wood, or whatever the fuck that is.
The haunted pile of shit. That one sucks.
I was going through with
haunted hayride.
I was going through with this girl.
Haunted hayride. Oh my god!
And of course, because it's the haunted forest, they have to do the guy with chainsaw routine. Yeah. So they got the little outhouse shack or whatever, and then dude jumps out with his chainsaw. The girl I was with freaked out and just took off running.
What, she jumped out of there or something?
But didn't have the sense to let go of my hand first. So walk through holding hands, and we had had tucked her hand into my coat pocket. She takes off running, and of course, any attempt by a normal-sized human being to run at a high rate of speed while holding on to me will end badly for them. So it wound up, with her doing treatment. Yeah, it wound up with her doing a. Well, no, I mean, you're just not going to drag my fat ass very far. You're going to do what she did and do a header into a mud puddle. But those are the ones I really remember from my teenage.
She broke your arm off and just kept running with it. Smokey.
Although I did also do the the haunted hollow there behind the Barber College in the strip mall with autograph signing by Big Chuck and Little John, and
those are classic.
Okay,
for the whole family.
So, getting into the adult years, I had we all had some friends who dressed up like Kiss, and they got the boots and the hair and the outfits and all done up, and it was almost kind of gay at times. But anyway, and I got invited in my 20s to go on this cruise.
My brother, man.
Which is
talking about my brother.
Lake Erie type cruise over to the
Gene, dude. That's not gay. That's
Lake Erie.
He's a black belt.
If you live around here, Lake Erie has a few islands that you go to in order to party, and you can. So anyway, went on this cruise over there, and I didn't dress up like kids. I dressed up like a fucking monster. Which, let me tell you something. When you're on Halloween and you're trying to meet girls, do not dress up like a horrendous creature. All right? It's not going to work for you. It's just not. better to dress up like Paul Stanley, like George Dalton did, because then everybody's like, ooh, he's cute, you know? Who's the fucking horrendous swamp creature next to him? Oh, that's me, sorry. You know, fucking stupid. So, anyway, that's just my dumb story. But as I've gotten older now, I'd like to think that I could go to, like, every year, Brian will always say something like, we're going to go to a Halloween party this year or something, and that never materializes. There's never, like, a Halloween party I'm invited to. I know tons of people. Everybody has kids. They stay home.
Okay, number one, you are invited. You think of some bullshit reason why you can't
You
go.
don't have a party. You were always like, I stayed home with Jody, we just sat around, we watched TV. I mean, nobody has a party.
Now. I mean, back in the day, dude, you always were like,
what Halloween party did you ever have?
Because you're going to go there and you'll have your friends, and I won't know anybody.
There's
and
never been
crazy. And
everybody knows that that's a lie.
I'm going to just know.
Everybody knows that's a lie, Brian. You never do anything on Halloween.
That's how fucking Kevin is, man. Where's your brother? He's not coming.
No. Brian has... What happens with Brian is Brian... Everybody, just to understand, Brian can't wait for Halloween. It's too late in the month.
Oh, yeah.
He starts Halloween in September.
That's totally true.
He starts Halloween in September and starts having parties then. So you're like, you're like invited to the vampire party and the Halloween party and the Vampire 2 party and everything.
At least I had parties, man. Most everybody else.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I went to all these parties.
Brian's mixtape party.
He had a party and everybody came dressed up. Okay, I mean, you have to admit it was cool because everybody did go to his party and everybody wore a costume. And right, I'm not knocking you. I'm just saying. But on Halloween day, 9 times out of 10, there ain't nothing going on. But anyway, it's not your fault that I don't have a social life on Halloween. I'm just saying. Nobody I know ever does anything. And now that everybody's older, it's all like, oh, we just went out with the kids, and we dunked for apples and ate donuts or something. And you're just like, oh, my fucking God. I'm not doing that. So I don't know. Halloween these days just
sucks.
It just sucks. It completely... So I watch scary movies at home and shit and do nothing. And it kind of blows, because I wish there was someplace to go, but there never is. Brian, adult Halloween? You give out candy with the kids or anything?
I'm not mentioning that gay bullshit. I fucking I used to work. I don't now because it's too goddamn far for me to drive back and forth. I used to work at a place called Starship Earth, which was an adult Halloween costume rental place. You could buy costumes, you could rent costumes. Everybody was happy. All right. Of course, you'd occasionally have those people that would come in there and they're like, "Do you have anything for kids?" It's like, "We have accessories." Well, I thought you were a Halloween store for adults, and it makes it sound like and we have adult films too. I mean, some people just didn't get in your head like, no, it's supposed to be for fun, And as far as jobs ever went, I mean, it was completely under the fucking table, and it was also completely like not something that you're gonna make a lot of money at. But she would also like, well, I'll pay you so much, unless you want to buy something, and then I'll give you a major discount. So of course, I'm always coming back with like satanic looking trinkets, because they overflowed in that shit, which was great for me. And I always had my fair share of just like really awesome fucking costumes that I could, enjoy. I'm trying to remember the one.
Little Bo Peep.
The one. This is the craziest. As far as I'm concerned, this is the craziest thing that ever happened to me as an adult at a Halloween party. Okay, so my friend Vicky went and had herself a Halloween party. I kind of talked her into it. I'm like, look, man, nothing's fucking going on. Go have a Halloween party. Well, everybody will come over. It'll be great. Everybody we know fucking likes Halloween. We'll all dress up. She's like, okay. So I go there, and I'm there with my wife. And there also is my girlfriend, who I'm living with now. Needless to say, it was probably one of the most introspective moments in my life. Because my wife dressed up as the devil, and my girlfriend dressed up as Xena, and I like both. So I decided Kevin showed up, he was dressed as, like, Lord Kevin.
Oh, I was not. I asked Brian for a fucking pirate outfit, and Brian got Lord me some Kevin. Fucking Buccaneers outfit.
Every other word out of his mouth was fools. As you saw him in the outfit, you would know that he looked like fucking Lord Kevin.
I got a great picture, though, man. I swear, I got to dig it up.
I've got it here, dude.
It's a picture of Brian with these fucking red horns on his head. Like, it looks awesome, and I got like some gay musket. But yeah, it was really bizarre because Brian's ex-wife was there dressed as the devil, and his current girlfriend was there dressed as Xena.
Yeah, it was
bizarre.
pretty unusual
But
situation.
Larry's girlfriend,
the best
wife
part,
was
okay,
there.
and this is why I brought this whole thing
Damn
up.
it.
The best part about the whole night is Larry's girlfriend was there, who became his wife later on, right? But Larry was not.
Yeah.
And I knew her,
Bizarre.
and I think Lori kind of knew her, and that was it. Nobody else there knew her, but she came anyway, and she came as Larry's sex fetish, which was Little Dead Becky. Needless to say,
it was disturbing.
she won
so
the Halloween
fucking
costume.
sick.
Yeah, she won the costume for like
sounds so familiar.
most creative Halloween costume. If there was a prize handed out, she would have got first fucking place because it was completely crazy.
How old was she supposed to be? 8? Something
She was
like
wearing a little schoolgirl outfit.
Yeah, little dead Becky.
Yeah.
She was.
I always
No,
got
I'll
the
be
age wrong. I was like, she's yeah. See, I did it again. She was like 8 years old. No, she was like 12. So, oh, all right. It's fine.
Yeah, she.
No
I'm not
idea.
Alice Cooper
Rose.
playing in the background. Dead babies. Sorry.
No, it would be right on the money, dude, because that's what that shit was all about. It was about bizarre Larry Mack bullshit going on, man. Like,
Oh yeah. I'm the one guy
yes,
in the world.
you are the
with
one that fucking
schoolgirl
put a
fetish.
You are.
yeah.
Well,
Schoolgirl thing,
the
okay,
dead,
living
the dead
adults,
schoolgirl fetish.
not
Okay,
fucking
I'm the one guy in
undead
the world
fucking
with a,
chick.
with a
Dude,
fetish
she
that
had
involves
her
a duck
skin was white and she had dark circles from death underneath her eyes. Don't try fucking talking around it. She
Well,
was dead.
Brian's got the sex fetish where he plays the
The hell is
closet
it?
monster. You know,
What?
What?
when you play the closet monster coming out of the closet, never mind.
Yeah, that's funny.
Hey, I'm coming out of the closet now.
Dude, I've played all sorts of bizarre shit, man. I one time.
Okay, we're recording again. I don't know where we left off. I think Larry was talking about Halloween or something, and then it blew up there.
I was talking about Larry's girlfriend.
Brian got into adult Halloween that I know of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was probably one of the best fucking. Just as far as like being able to talk about it being completely wrong, it was great.
Okay. So we'll just move along then. We're done with Halloween. Anything else? Anybody? No.
Yes.
Well, I was like the first person to do like anything adult wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to finish
Like,
this
I'm
all.
sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. Okay.
you
Then
bring shit
Anderson,
up,
go ahead.
Hispanic.
Adult Halloween.
Only thing I got is when I was dating this one girl, she's, I'm going to hand out candy. Do you want to hang out? And I was like, all right. So I hung out with her, and I was like, well, I'm going to put this crazy mask on. I'm going to sit in this chair in the bushes, and I'm going to act like a dead person. And then that way, if people come up, I'll like jump out and scare them and stuff. And it didn't really work because most of the kids like just started throwing candy at me.
Kick you.
Right. They're just like, they're looking over, and I wouldn't move, and they're like, we know there's a dude under there. And I wouldn't move, and she's like, no, there's nobody underneath there. You can go over there. And they like started throwing like rocks at me and stuff.
Punch
I'm
you.
like, all right, you know what? I jump up. I'm like, all right, you know what? Get out of here.
Dude, I did that one time when I was a
Get
teenager.
on my lawn.
But I was like, I saw like bigger kids coming. I didn't want to move, and like one of them kicked me like right in the fucking stomach. And my dad's like, all right, come. My dad just like saw me all doubled over. He didn't see who did it. He's like, just get out. Stop that. Why'd you do this anyway? You know that someone's gonna fuck you up. You know, fuck dumb.
That's awesome.
At the time, it was embarrassing, man. I was like trying to hand out candy, and I opened up the door to scare him, like whoever was there, because I thought it was like somebody I knew. And I went, ah! And it was like some 5-year-old little boy. He's like crying his eyes out.
I remember the first time I came over Kevin's
His dad was like staring at me, like, "What the fuck, man?" I'm just like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry." He's just like, "Just give us candy, dumbass."
Yeah, the first time I came over to Kevin's house when you guys were over at fucking Carolyn's house of hell. And it was Halloween night, and you were wearing the fucking Sandman. What do they call those dudes from Star Wars? The Sand People or whatever fucking mask.
Tusken
You're
Raiders.
like shoving this stick in her face. I'm like, all right, enough.
I did that.
Yeah, it was you.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I was so fucking dumb.
Yeah, I
man.
vaguely remember you dressed up like a Tusken Raider too. Yeah, that sounds like something you would do, Brian. Yeah.
Probably nobody knew what the fuck I was.
I think
either.
it was just like something you did with
You wouldn't
toilet
just let
paper.
it go. You're just like, I'm like sitting on a couch, like, oh my god, all right. Jesus
Dude, I was
Christ.
dumb back then. What the fuck do you want from me? I was completely fucking retarded.
Back then.
Dude, fuck you. Like, you're
Yeah.
I had to say it. I said
All
it
right,
against
but I mean,
Cecil
there's degrees. All right,
Yeah,
there's degrees of fucking retardation.
None of us would have respected him if he didn't say it.
I know. Even if it was about me.
Well, we'll get to you. Don't worry.
Oh, I know.
Dude, trust me. I look back at myself when I was younger, and I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me, man? Christ. Man, I knew not everybody had their shit together, but damn.
Okay.
See, maybe that's why I never have stories, because I had my shit together. So
Yeah.
not as much to talk about when I was younger.
Now, though.
Well, yeah. Now
that
is when
shit's falling apart.
now is when I'm a trainer.
Because the
Oh yeah.
Because of what?
Yeah.
Okay. Anderson,
What up?
you got adult stories for Halloween?
I just told you.
he just
I thought that
Hold
was,
it.
well, I thought Brian was still going. Apologize.
Oh no, I mean that's pretty much. I mean, you know, you don't want to hear about me taking the kids out. We're like I just took the kids out this past Halloween, and they're like, I'm tired. Like the baby's like, I'm tired. I don't want to walk around no more. I'm like, get on my shoulders. We're getting more candy. I'm like, it's still light out. Let's go. And we went to like this rich
Really, you do
neighborhood.
that? I'm like, okay, let's go home.
No, I was like, let's go. Shit, it's free candy, man.
Yeah.
The only way I'm going to get it is because of the kids. So I'm like, I'll carry both of you on my back. Let's go. You know, whatever I got to do to get candy, you're set. You know, they're like, this doesn't make sense. You know, like what's going on? I was like, don't worry about it. And then they like 2 days later, like, where's all the good candy at? I don't know.
you got to pawn all the good candy, and then while you're walking around, you got to hit on all the good-looking mamas that are dressed up as cats.
Well, I used to go.
I fucking.
I was
said
doing
it
that too.
one time.
Because I walk out there by myself since I'm a single guy this year. I walked out there, no ring on my hand. I made sure my left hand was up in the air. And, all the single mamas out there, they're like, oh, look at this guy. And, oh, look, he's got 2 beautiful daughters. And they're just like, they come running around. They're like eating candy. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going over Brian's house when he was living with his wife, and they used to have a bunch of candy on top of the fridge. And I was like, what is all this candy? And it was like, oh, well, we don't let them have all the candy, at once.
Yeah, because, kids get too much goddamn candy. They're going to start foaming at the mouth.
But then it was like, it'd be there for like months and stuff.
moreover,
and I'd be
though,
looking at it and be like, can I have it?
Kids will eat themselves into a sugar coma.
Right. That's what I do with my kids. I make them eat. If you feed them slowly, if you don't give it to them all at once, you have to feed them slowly. And then at the end of the night, you just pound them with a big barrage of it. Knocks them right out.
Okay.
No joke.
Okay, cease.
Yeah, besides the kids thing, that's kind of boring. But I went to a party, a couple of parties. One time I went all out and I did this big fucking costume like I was Wolfman. And at the time I had long hair, so I incorporated all this shit into my hair, put it on my jacket and all this, got these fake fucking nails, did all this shit. I went to this party, I was all excited about it. The fucking shit looked good, too. I get there, and it's all old couples, except for my friends over there that was a couple. I was like, oh, my God, this is fucking boring. Free beer, free food, but other than that, it was boring. Another time I went to another party, and this drinking heavily. It was a good party. We were all having fun, and smoking and drinking, and about midnight, I decided to pick up this beer can and put it up to my lips, and a bunch of buds hit my fucking lips.
That's always
cigarettes. I put it in. I'm like, oh,
Great.
tasted like coffee beer mixture. Right? It's so fucking nasty. I fucking threw up after that. I'm like, ugh. But yeah. Besides that, just dragging the kids out. We do the haunted hayride over in what the fuck
Is that really scary, dude? The haunted hayride? Are you scared on that?
No, that one actually is pretty good. It's they call it the Rockin' R Ranch.
There's
Does a guy with a chainsaw jump from a tree into the middle of the hay bale thing? And no,
that'd be good. Not quite. They do have people hanging from rafters in a barn and stuff like that. They go in the barn, they lock you in there, and the alien walks around and tries to grab people and shit. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay.
It ain't scary. It's just watch the kids screaming and shit. It's funny as hell.
Kev, you came over when I lived in Lake when we were handing candy out, and that kid in the Michael Myers mask. Remember him?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, so just stared. Yeah, I gave him candy.
He did that thing where he was like Michael Myers, and he just like came and he just like stared right at Brian, and then he like did that Michael Myers turn of his head. It just like because most kids just like are like trick or treat, but the kid just like stared down Brian. It was funny.
Yeah, because I'm like realizing the kid was still just like looking at me. And he just turned his head really slowly, like like to the side, and he's like walked away. And like I for a split second, it's like what just fucking happened? Ken was just laughing his ass. I was like, that was great. Like.
That's what Tilsner did with us.
When you bastard gang right there. No.
Saying.
Yeah,
Tilsner did that with us. He hung out with us that one night.
I remember him.
He had the jumpsuit and the mask, and when he put the mask on, he stopped talking to everybody. He stopped doing what people were doing. He started walking down the street by himself. We're like running after him. We're like, Mike, where you going? Where you going? He would stop and just sit there and stare at you and not say nothing, just like that. You're just like, what the fuck, man? You're crazy.
I fought him while I was dressed up like Jason Voorhees, but it was pointless because he had
superhuman strength.
The guy used to work out at Scandinavia like all fucking time. So yeah, his massive upper body strength. Like I was a wimpy fucking Jason Voorhees compared to his goddamn Michael Myers strength.
Mike Myers, yeah.
Luckily though, I had a machete and I took out anyway. All right.
Cut out his fucking arteries.
Larry, adult Halloween?
No, I got nothing.
You don't go to the strip. You don't go to the strip joint on Halloween and throw candy for the strippers onto the floor or anything. Put some Tootsie Rolls down.
No, I mean we've done the King Diamond story to death.
The King Diamond story?
Huh?
Nothing.
That's how I first met Larry. He was dressed up like King Diamond. Came over Brian's house. His girlfriend was dressed up like Abigail, sitting on Kevin Vinoy's lap.
Yeah, she got cheered when he walked in.
And Larry woke up under some strange stairs. Right? That's basically the story.
I was dressed up as King Diamond. Penny was dressed up as Abigail. And while we were there, at one point, my girlfriend and Brian's wife went to get food for everybody. And
nice.
I said, you know what? I'll go with you guys. And so I hopped in the back seat of the car and we left and we almost made it to the end of the parking lot before I said, pull the car over. You guys go on without me. And I get out, and because I didn't want to be the guy standing in the middle of the parking lot puking, I decided to do the walk bow-legged and puke as you walk thing across the parking lot, which I did. But if you haven't done that, it can be a little disorienting staring at the ground to make sure you don't puke all over yourself. So I did that.
Yeah, you don't want to step in it either. So that's what bowling is for.
And I get back to the building and I walk in, and I don't know why I didn't knock on Brian's door, but the door was locked. So I was like, you know what? The girls will be back here pretty soon anyway. I'll just sit over here.
You see King Diamond come up and start trying to.
I'll just sit over here and wait for them. Well, the next thing I know, I'm passed out under the stairs.
Good.
So I like wake up and I'm under the stairs. I was like, what the fuck happened to me? And I remember getting up and walking back to Brian's door, and that was when I looked out the front door of the building and saw the swimming pool. I was like, Brian doesn't live by the swimming pool. And that's when I realized I had walked into the wrong building and tried to get into Brian's apartment and passed out on the stairs.
Which is classic. So it's the next day. We were like, dude, what the fuck happened? He was like,
yeah.
Kind of a zany story.
Passed out around the corner.
So
I
go
passed underneath the stairs. I was like,
out
what?
the fucking apartment.
I get back there and but the girls were back to like, how did we beat you back? We left you in the parking lot. And I was like, yeah, it's a long story. But there was the other Halloween vampire party where everyone was convinced I was a black guy because I was a black vampire with a Rasta wig.
That was supposed to be like my live action vampire fucking my LARP.
Larry was scary that night.
Shit.
I was kind of scared. I was scared of Larry that night. He looked weird.
Very black. He had dreadlocks. And
it wasn't because he looked like a black guy.
It
was that he just looked scary.
And this dude comes to me and goes, dude, who's the black guy that's here? I was like, who? He's like, yeah, that one black guy. I'm like, that's Larry,
I
man.
knew I'd call you Leroy for some reason.
Yeah, he looked fucking pretty black if you didn't know him, man. And the guy was completely convinced. He's like, no, there was another black guy. I'm like, no, dude, fucking just
I remember going to what was that apartment you were on Rocky River Drive?
The basement.
Oh, God, yeah, when I lived in the basement, with my wife.
Yeah, the basement party where we all got kicked out.
I should have been kicked out of that place.
Drunk.
Oh, dude, yeah, I remember.
We got kicked out. I had to make Kevin move the car because I was so fucking drunk I couldn't find the keys. And he's like, I can't drive this thing. I'm like, I can't even find the car.
So many fucking drunken hijinks that went in that place. I had, like, that was the time where Kevin got locked in the bathroom and the fucking landlord had to kick in the bathroom door.
Or what about when there was the? What about when somebody said there was somebody outside with the gun and everybody was hiding?
Yeah, that's the same party right there. You.
That was that was Kevin's graduation party. That was in the other apartment.
Oh, all right.
Right, that was the second place.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy too.
That's the place where Oz was running around going, hide in the commode, hide in the commode.
Or Dan put his ass through my fucking window because he tried jumping up on the ledge and he was so drunk he fucking missed fucking judged out the fucking distance. So he fucking threw his ass up and he hears crash and I'm like, motherfucker, and he's like, dude, I cut my ass open on your window. Lori goes in there and looks. She comes out, she's like, Brian, your friend Dan put his ass through the fucking window. I started laughing my ass off. She's like, it's not funny, we're gonna get charged for it. I'm like, it's fucking great. He put his ass through the fucking window. That was some funny shit, man.
Yeah. Okay. So we only got a few things left, and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap it up, actually. Fucking. I got to go.
All
right, man. Good luck, Don.
See you, dude.
All right, man. Later,
Peace out.
So, that leaves us with Earth Day and Arbor Day.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for listening, everybody.
No, I have an Earth Day. So that was when the Bastard Gang went to fucking the zoo because Earth Day in Cleveland. They're like, go to the zoo, see the animals, and like this was the '90s, like the early '90s.
When it first started.
Yeah, and like you went down to the fucking zoo, and there's all these pseudo hippies sitting around, and I'll never forget because none of my friends dressed like fucking hippies, man. Not then, and we're walking past the pavilion area where like they have like some sort of a stage set up, and there's some guy like reading his poetry, and he had like a really whiny fucking voice, and he's just like, I wonder if we're ever gonna like grow out of our need for oil. I wonder, and then like he would pause to make people like stop, and you saw people like closing their eyes and think and nodding. He did it like twice. The third time he did it, I'm like really loud. I'm like, and fucking people were looking at me, and I expected them to get like really pissed off. But a lot of people started laughing. I was like, what a fucking annoying guy. Damn, like why would you listen to this fucking guy? But oh well, you guys are hippies. And that's what like we took like video footage. And like that's when Carl Tuesday went inside the like it was like a cage, but it had nothing in it. Like they hadn't even put bars up in there yet. And so we videotaped like, what's in here? And I was see like Carl Tuesday coming up acting like there's something like he can't get out. He's like he's like jumping around inside the cage and shit. And you see me like can you get out? And I'm like, no, there's glass. And you see me like knock and there's nothing there, but I'm like kicking the fucking wall. And on the camera, it sounded like I was knocking on glass. It was fucking. Costco was like, dude, that's fucking awesome. I was like, I don't know how the fuck I nailed that shit, but yeah, we fucking walked through the entire zoo, and then we went back, and it was we had this great big party at fucking Vicky and Bean's old awesome goddamn party palace, and that was the first time I ever threw up on Bud Dry.
Jeez, Bud Dry.
Yeah, because I drank. Everybody that drank that shit threw up, dude. Because I had like. Oh, man. We're sitting in the back parking lot. We were eating pizza. It was like my fourth or fifth fucking Bud Dry. Because that shit would fuck you up, man. And I was like talking, and I hiccuped and burped at the same time. And all of a sudden, I'm like, "Bleh," and shit would fly. Other dudes were back, they all jumped back like, oh. And I'm like, where the fuck did that come from? And they're looking at me like, we didn't think you were that drunk. I'm like, I'm not drunk. Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, dude, you're drunk now. Damn. And Oz was high. That was the same shit Oz drank and fucking got all fucking sick at your party, Kevin, in the old place in Jamestown. We kept going, dude, Kiss sucks. He's like, shut up, fuck you.
Dude, he used to drink so much he used to get sick all the time. Just lay on the floor.
Yeah.
And stuff.
And he would just talk.
Yeah.
Still does that now. Doesn't lay on the floor, but all the talking still goes on. It's cool.
Go live with him.
Larry, Don, any...
No.
The only thing I'll say about it is like when you go on Dell's website and you buy like a computer or something, I think it's Dell. It might be HP. They always have this thing now where it's like, do you want to like buy like a tree, or for like $5 or something? And I always look at that and I'm like, it's like supposed to make a carbon neutral. It's supposed to like I'm going to purchase this tree and it's going to carbon neutral my purchase. And it's not just on Earth Day or anything. It's like all the time they do this. But I just think to myself, does this really happen? Like if I actually buy that, is somebody really going out and planting the tree? Or are they just going to show me a picture of some real estate they bought that has fucking trees on it? You know, like look at this land we bought with the money you donated to us. Thank you. Look at all the trees. That's a great job. Now you've made our company richer. You know, I don't know. I can always, I think McDonald's gave away trees at one point too, or something like that. Like it was gay.
We got a tree when we bought our Saturn.
There's
What?
We bought a Saturn, a car. It's a vehicle. Saturn View.
I know what the fuck it is, smartass. I'm just trying to figure out what in the fuck they give it to you.
They gave us a tree. They was like, "Here's a little baby tree planted in your yard," and I was just like, "All right, throw it out." And then the kids saw it. Ooh, let's plant a tree. It's like,
Did you tear it apart?
like, too bad I ate it. Daddy smoked it already.
So, any Groundhog Day? Anything? Care about that holiday? Think?
Good movie.
Yeah, this is Bill Murray. It's okay, but it gets kind of repetitive.
Right.
Do you believe in the Groundhog Day? Do you think that anybody believes in it? Does anybody believe in that? I mean, why do we do that? What is the point of that? Does anybody care about Groundhog Day?
It's the least disgusting of the things that they used to... It's the least disgusting of using animals to foretell the future's seasons and the people's... Remember? Because remember, what was that animal they used to, like, take the guts out of, and they'd, like, throw it on a rock, and they'd be like, look, it's green. That means the harvest will be strong this year. And you're just like, what the fuck is that?
Well, it's true.
Maybe it still works. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Yeah.
Might work better than maybe they got to cut the groundhog
open. Used to do, they're like, well, Groundhog's Day is not that bad because we just don't have to kill the fucking thing.
Be awesome. Just be like, now we're gonna have the ritual sacrifice of the groundhog. You know.
Well, that's what they should do. They pull the groundhog out. They'd be like, what? More winter? Yeah, kill it.
Just tear it apart.
Yeah, they eat it.
Yeah. Everybody just rips a hunk off. All right. And that leaves us with April Fool's Day. Now, the only thing about April Fool's Day is that it's the day that websites think that everybody has forgotten that it's April Fool's Day, so they always post up some story
you hear about all the time,
that they think you're going to get tricked by because, you know, they're trying to get you. But, you know, we've all outgrown that foolishness like 10 years ago. But, yeah, I've never partaked in the fooling of anybody, except when you're a little kid, you know. April Fool, you know, because you could get away with anything back then. You just go up, push some kid in front of a car. Oh my God, you know, April Fool, you know. But it was like your ultimate excuse, and then sometimes like you get in trouble and stuff. Oh, it's April Fool's, and I was just April Fool, like, you know, because you punch somebody in the nose or whatever. So, Brian,
can't get with everything.
April Fool's Day.
Oh, God. I'm trying to remember, man. Honest to God, I have done shit. I just can't remember all my... Because for me, dude, every fucking day is April Fool's Day. I'm constantly fucking pulling shenanigans on people.
Right.
That probably deserve it, you know? Just... Like, why make it different from any other day of the week, you know? Just, they probably needed me to fucking make their life, you know, a living hell. I just can't think of one thing specifically that I did where, you know...
No.
That they've, you know, I can't think of one thing that I specifically did that, you know, stands out in my mind as something that, you know, really just like, wow, that was really fucking funny. You got me. Haha, you know. Because 9 times out of 10, I get done pulling a shenanigan, and people are like, you're a fucking asshole. You know that? Like, yeah.
It's always something mean-spirited.
You know, the prank calls and shit like that, but I mean, I think everybody does that.
Sure. Anderson?
Yeah, no. Nothing. April Fools?
You never pulled a prank?
Well, no, yeah, but not on April Fools because I mean you can't do it. I mean you can't do anything around April 1st. I mean if you can get away with something around April 1st, then obviously that person is too busy in life to realize that it's April 1st, or they're just an idiot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, really, you know what I mean? The day before April 1st, people are like, "No, you're setting me up for tomorrow. You're fucking with me." You know, it's and you even get those people who come up to you on the second
top with something that nobody would ever joke about. Oh my God, are you serious? Because nobody would kid about that.
Right, and that's the thing is I just walk around the whole day, and every time somebody tells me, that, you know, like I'll go to work or whatever, and be like, somebody will be like, my dog saved a busload of people today, and I just be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I don't even like even try to. I'm like,
oh my God,
don't care. Right, and if I see, yeah, you know, it's like, oh. Yeah, you were telling the truth. Okay, well, hey, way to go for your dog. But yeah, April Fools. It's not even. It's no.
Okay,
I'm done.
Larry.
Nah, I don't really have anything either. I always assume that A, nobody's going to buy anything that I do, and B, I'm way too lazy to put the effort required into a legitimate prank.
It's an underrated horror movie, April Fool's Day, the first one.
That was a great horror movie.
Yeah, it's underrated. People.
Oh, okay. I thought you said overrated.
No. It's totally worth seeing if you've never seen it. The first one from
the original.
Yeah. Okay.
The original.
With Amy Steele.
Truth or Dare.
Yeah, Truth or Dare. Truth or Dare. All right. That's it. We don't have an outro for Midwest Wasteland. Stay tuned for Cleveland Sports Radio. And if you want to find out how to get this show and all the other shows we do, go to videogamenews.com. And the first post on the front page will tell you how to subscribe and get everything. And I don't really have a big outro, so we don't have to do a Don and Don. So let's just do 5 minutes. So we'll say 10:50.
Okay.
That's it. Good night.
I'm
Thanks.
in.
Peace. Later.
See you.
Yeah. Peace.